Good evening. It's Tuesday night. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things, and I'm here with Buff Del Campo. You should know that because you clicked on the channel. We already have some people in the chat, so let's say welcome and hello to those people. If you're here later, welcome. We're going to get through our introductions, and then we're going to talk about some cars and automotive things, YouTube things, all the things. So let's get started.
Am I supposed to say something?
Yeah!
All right. You said I'm going to do the introduction. That's like
That's it.
I'm just blowing off to sleep here while you're
Damn.
going after it.
Bring the energy.
Energy.
All right. So
I was mowing. Looks like you got a D104 power mic. Said, yeah, this is Kim likes this.
Yeah.
It's backwards. She likes this part
I think this is great
Toward-
texture for
toward
our
the
stream.
camera when it's supposed to be like this to use it. It does work. I bought this on eBay because I kind of wanted it for one of my CB radios, and then it didn't work. So it takes a battery. So okay, there's no battery in it. Maybe that's why it doesn't work. It still didn't work. And then we got in there looking. There's broken wires. There was a wire. It didn't look broken, but down inside the insulation, somewhere was broken. Kim replaced that wire. This thing works great now. We had it hooked to the radio and.
But it
Works
doesn't
well.
it doesn't do internet.
Right now, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's a decoration.
It's so pretty. It's shiny.
It's a decoration.
But yeah, but we have a regular USB table mic, and hopefully we're coming through loud and clear. Is everyone getting good sound?
Mike N.
Last week I couldn't even re-watch the whole stream. You people, help! You should have stopped us. We would have stopped the stream completely and started over if I had known it was so bad.
Oh, how is the volume and how is everything tonight? Is it
Like, you're allowed
Is it-
to be brutal. If it's bad, just say it's bad.
Last week it was not the audio and the video was not synced up, and we were told that, and we could fix it right away, and then we couldn't hear it, so we just went with it. Well, Kim watched the live, some sections of it afterwards. She goes, "Oh, it was terrible."
Yeah,
Like,
I almost
no.
want to take it down. It was so bad. But if you're just listening to it like a podcast, then it's fine because you can't. The sound is good. It's
I
just
can't believe how many people know what this mic is, and they must have been into CB radios or into amateur radio or something. And then, we'll get onto the Ferrari here in a second.
Don't worry, we'll be on to this.
We'll be
Ferrari.
onto this Ferrari. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, you got time to think about this. It's not a Ferrari.
It ain't.
So, you're an old ham. Oh, okay. See now, my
It looks
favorite.
a lot like a Ferrari. Those wheels, I think Ferrari. It's a Ferrari.
We are. Where was I at? Oh, the microphone. I never had a D104 back in my CB days, 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago. I like the Turner Plus 3, and I wonder if any of you know what a Turner Plus 3 is. I think that is just a killer microphone. But I have one of these now, and I don't know. I'm working on getting my amateur license, and I know what'll happen.
And we got a great big antenna to put outside that we're looking forward to doing that. I had to get the vines out of the way before we could do it, so I did that this week. Lots to do.
RC, I was watching I don't know which video it was, watched a couple of your videos, and up in the background, nailed, screwed, or something on a piece of wood up there, you have some old license plates. And several of them have I don't know if it's yours, an amateur call sign. And so I thought maybe you were a ham radio operator. So anyway, I'll go get my technician's license. I think probably in a month or so. I got a lot of stuff going on, so I got to just schedule it in somehow. They give the test around here once a month, and then I know what'll happen. I know what I do. I'll have to upgrade, and I know what I'll do. Even if I don't have good equipment, and I don't. I have a bunch of old stuff. And I made my own antenna, So, I've just got to get the license. As soon as I get one, I want to get the others because that's how I do things. 73, yeah. One night we'll do this. We'll do I don't know, maybe I'll do a video and install a CB in the GPU drive. I've got another CB and an antenna. I could do that.
Turbo Tom, welcome to the stream. 517, yeah. With the extra push that we've been getting from putting out shorts, we're at day 21, you said?
Day 21.
Day 21.
But we don't have one
every day.
We have 20 out. We still have to do one today.
We still need to do one today.
So when we're
but
finished here.
we're doing them. That really gave us a boost. And then John Wilburn did a little pop-up stream and shared out Buff Del Campo's channel, and we were able to get up over 500, and then it just keeps on going.
Yeah, so, I got 517. I got up to 518. I did a really crappy short, and I lost one. So I was to 518, now I'm 517. I don't know what happened there. This is just like one of the worst shorts I've ever done. It's just like, just a couple of people watch it.
You don't know what's going to hit or miss, and you won't learn unless you do it.
I like that call sign, Zob. Did you just get that, or was that a personalized call sign? That's easy to remember. Plan on putting a CB radio in the vehicle I take to No Name Nationals. You know what that means? We have to have CBs in
I think everyone at No Name Nationals this year should have a CB, and we should all be on the same channel, and just in case anybody has a problem, in case anybody gets pulled over, anything.
Pulled over, yeah.
Any news or update or important stuff going on, John can have his CB going and be like, hey, the burnout starts in 5 minutes, the whole thing, because not everybody's going to be at the track all the time. And I think we should definitely push for that. So that's something that we have to kick back towards John. Somebody remind me that the RC industry suggested that.
And hello, all of you, you're there. Good to see you.
Welcome to the stream, all.
Mike, I'm trying to look up here at the whole list of
Mike
people.
N, I didn't say hello. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, he's a ham. That's pretty cool.
Rick's been throwing out. Did you see how many shorts Rick got out of
oh, you know what happened?
Cars from Power Tour? Lots of nice cars and some car cruises and stuff like that. Excellent shorts.
I watched some of them. You know what happened, especially after John gave us a challenge with all the shorts. There's so many shorts to watch. I can't watch them all. There's so much content. I try to watch everybody here, and I'm sorry, I don't get them all. Mexican Spec, he and I had a little chat about an hour ago for a couple of minutes, and I meant to tell him when we were on the chat that I just looked at what was the video I watched. He just put out, I was going to say it, and I don't remember what the car was. Oh, geez.
Sorry, I was...
Yeah, I had it right there, and now it's not there.
I didn't see it
watch
yet.
Hours on the 21st. I had 409. There were about 3 videos. I had 406. Explain. Yeah, I don't know. I think YouTube...
Well, the hours fall off because it's a rolling thing.
Oh, yeah, the
if you're
hours.
At 360 or 90 days or whatever you get to see. If you put lifetime, it'll tell you all your accumulated hours. But
what's important is a year is 365 days.
Yeah.
And they give you that option to look at that. So I always look at that.
Life isn't all about subs and subscribers and view time and stuff like that. Like, it's interesting to watch channel growth, but it's good to see people here.
I am this close to 4,000 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It was a Magnum. That's right, Mexican Spec. I never knew about that car. We didn't have that here. We had that body, but it wasn't a Magnum. That's pretty cool.
What's the American version of the Magnum?
I don't remember. It's some little front driver, but theirs is turbocharged.
Front driver. Like, is it like the same platform as like a Rampage, kind of? The Magnum?
Just look on his...
All right. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yes, it is, Kim, when you want...
you will make yourself crazy. If you're at 409 and you need to get 4,000, you're going to make yourself nuts. Just keep working.
Yeah, but you might only be looking at
90 days.
90 or whatever they give you. I think the default is 30 days. I don't remember. But you got to select the 365 days when you look at that. Factory Recaro buckets in the Magnum Dodge. Oh, Dodge 400. That's what I remember those things being on a used car lot. The buy here, pay your used car lots.
What year are we talking? I get at least
ancient. 19 What is that thing? 1986 or 7 or something? Different kind of Magnum. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Got all the wrong ones.
Yeah, but the
Is this
Mexican.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's not it.
It's
Look up, because you're in the U.S. Look up 1985 is what he says.
85.
Dodge 400. It was a Dodge 400 here. In Mexico, it was a. They had a Magnum version of it, which was turbocharged. Get rid of Magnum. Okay, there
That's
you go.
it.
There you
It looks
go.
like a K car.
It is sort of.
Oh, okay.
He that's what he. Okay, let's see here. Now I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. Turbo Tom, how you doing? Amex, I lost my master because Stellantis says my master is a bad word. What? Oh, like from Mexico short. K car. Yeah, it is similar to K car. I remember I don't remember why, but there was this car and there was a Chrysler version of that had the Chrysler name on it. I don't remember what they called that thing. But I was working at Buy Here, Pay Here used car lot, and twice I had to put steering columns in those things. I don't remember. I'm thinking maybe the tilt columns were broken in there, because I remember both times I got junkyard columns and put them in those.
People hang on steering
400s.
columns.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I knew a woman. Her car, when she hit a bump, her car would shut off, and then it would come back on, and she didn't know what was wrong. She had 1,000 keys on her key ring, and it was breaking the column, bouncing on the.
You gotta be kidding me.
But she didn't know what was wrong. Like, how can you not recognize that the shaking keys are breaking your ignition switch?
So the one thing Chrysler did was a plush interiors, the cushy leather seats, not crushy.
Oh,
Cushy
they had some nice seats.
leather
in those
seats.
cars.
I really
Yeah.
like those. You know the one I always
They have
wanted.
women.
The one I always liked was the one that looked like a giant Jaguar top. The top that came back. Jaguar. The Chrysler. Can't think of what that thing's called. It was I can't remember anything. It's a big front drive Chrysler in the early 90s. I don't know.
Okay.
Brain shot. No, not Aries
I
convertible.
had a Dodge Aries.
You had an Aries. No, I'm talking about
I fell asleep and smashed into somebody with it. I was going to school during the day, and I was working a night shift, like an overnight shift, and I couldn't sleep. I had to go to school, and then after school I went straight to work. I was like on like a 20-hour or maybe 28 hours no sleep, and I was watching the road, and my eyes closed, and the road was still there, so I was driving with my eyes closed, and then boom, I hit something that wasn't in my dream.
I liked all the Intrepids, but that's not the car I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the LH. Right. What's the LH? What was the LH called? LHS. It was an LHS, I think. The Chrysler LHS had really nice interiors, and I really like those things. She's typing it in right now. Oh, that's the second gen LHS. It's the white one on the far right. That one up there. And
This one?
That one, yeah. I always wanted one of those, and they had nice
That
interiors.
just looks like a Chevy Lumina.
Oh, come on.
It does. It looks
Lumina's-
just like a Chevy Lumina. They're all the same. That's the 80s
Concorde-
cars. They all just went.
The Concorde and the LHS, similar running gear, but they were different cars. The first gen LHS, I just really liked that car. And I was working in Yuma, and it looked like we were going to have to commute back and forth to someplace out in the desert in California. And I was looking for a car at the time, and I had it down to about 3 cars I was looking for. But then I ended up not having to go out to the desert and never bought it. I was looking for LHS, the Riviera that looks like the one that comes back in the back and the taillights are real close together. They were all like 10-year-old cars at the time. And the other one I wanted was a Lincoln, what was the Lincoln that looked like a Thunderbird? The Lincoln Mark 8. So I was
Oh,
looking.
yeah.
I was looking at those,
The
and
Mark 8 was,
they were all that by that time they were all down to like $2,000 cars.
oh geez.
So I was
At that
looking.
point, they're hoopties.
Yeah, but I was in Yuma, Arizona, and nothing's rusty. So all you got to do is find one that runs good.
Rob's Rods and
Rod,
Street
yep.
Cars says congratulations on your 500.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Bob, on your 500. We did make 500 subscribers. He did make 500 subscribers on his channel, which is a nice. Well, now he can stop worrying about subscriber growth and focus
No.
on getting ready for No Name Nationals and projects and regular content.
No, I got to keep going on the growth.
Well, yes,
so-
but you don't have to focus on a specific number anymore. You just keep pushing.
6% recycled. Thank you. I'd say sir, but I don't know if it's a sir or man.
Yeah. You don't know who 6% recycle. I watch your stuff. 6% recycle.
Okay, I
forget your
don't. I
name.
maybe have watched it. I don't know. You guys paid for? Yes, I paid for No Name Nationals
Right away.
Right away. I did two things. I made a. I know we're a bunch of wusses. I made a reservation, a hotel there, and
He don't want to sleep in the van.
no,
He
you
said,
know
I'm
what?
too old for that crap.
I'll be honest.
I'm fine with having
I want
a shower.
bathroom and a shower of my own. And some point in the evening, it's like, okay, let's go to the hotel, stop at a restaurant. It's a vacation, and I don't know. I flew airplanes around a lot of my career, flying to air shows and showing off airplanes, and I was always camping in the airplane. Well, I'm tired of that, So, get my Slant 6 going.
I hope that at 70 years old, I will have the opportunity to have a hotel room when I'm going out of state for an event. We're absolutely both going to be at No Name Nationals this year. It is the event that we have. Everything kind of centers around, and like we're not only like it's the most important event for our calendar right now.
Of course she's gonna be there.
Yeah.
She's gonna be at No Name Nationals.
And I'm working right now to get my 66 start going. And we're on pace for it, but we really are focusing. Like other stuff is falling by the wayside because it's just like we gotta get back to the 66. But I would like to have his car going, but he doesn't want all the craziness of taking multiple cars. So if somebody wants to come and meet us up and drive another car, we
KJ.
have multiple cars here. You
KJ
can do some
Kylie.
videos.
Stray
Welcome to
Bullet.
Stream, Kylie.
Stray Bullet. That's his
Stray
name.
Bullet?
He said his mother,
Yeah.
when he was born, named him Stray Bullet
Really?
because she was crazy. I don't remember if he said crazy. He used some word, but I thought it was pretty funny, so I never forgot that. It was like, because I asked him about it. It's like Hulk Hogan. When he was born, his mother looked down and went, Hulk. And they put it on his birth certificate. And if you believe that, let's see here. Yes, but if you have a 67 Cadillac Eldorado, it sleeps forward comfortably, and you can park it next to the bathroom. Oh yeah, that'll smell good. Let's go park next to a public bathroom.
There's not.
That's my God-given name. Yeah.
There's not a lot of people here who are unfamiliar with the format at No Name Nationals, but if you do decide that you want to go budget, or if you have like an RV that you're bringing or something like that, staying at the track is very doable. It's a short stay, so you probably don't have to worry about hookups because there is no RV hookups at the track. But there's a shower.
If you've
and
never
there's
been
good-
there,
there's really nice bathrooms.
the
so-
facility's great.
yeah, it's
The-
small, but it's
Everybody
big
that,
enough.
everybody that goes in as a spectator, maybe one or two people sit in the stands. All the spectators are hanging out in the pits, and they're family and friends of people that have the cars.
Yeah.
And they're the mechanics and the people that are working on them. And it's just a big nice event. I went to a lot of air shows, not a lot of car shows or never a drag racing event, but air shows, and same kind of thing. But this is the best of all of them. It's just such a good event.
The thing I feel like we miss when we go to the hotel in the evening is there's a lot of like, just people like sitting in their chairs, grilling up some food and, shooting a breeze, telling stories. And that probably is a lot of fun. But by the time we get through 10 or 12 hours of running back and forth around the track, looking at everybody's cars, talking to everybody. There's racing going on and stuff like that. We're exhausted.
Jim's Fastback Garage. Thank you. Man, I
Welcome
hope,
to the stream, Jim.
I hope you're there with that Mustang. Can't wait to see that Mustang. So I think that's the one with the early top on the late model. If 67 and 8 or late model. It's 65 and 6 fastback on the what I call a late model Mustang, 67 or 68. Man, does that look slick. I got to see it. I'm Trav. Yeah. Are you going to be there with an RV? I don't know, where are you? You're like in Florida or Georgia or something, or South Carolina, I forget, somewhere down that neck of the woods. It's a pretty good run out there for you, but that'd be great, you know. Show up and with a motorhome, there's plenty of room for people bring motorhomes and trailers.
Tim, my hat goes off to you for bringing a tent and a sleeping bag.
Oh, Tim.
And that's I'm getting the bones. Feel it too much in the morning. I'm sore just from running around, but
he's gonna be in a hotel room this year.
I'm glad you got a hotel room this year. It is nicer to have a hotel room, but staying at the track has its sort of camaraderie, and you know, you'll get more stories and stuff like that. But there's really no excuse. You can do it on a real budget. You know, honestly, if you stay at the track, fuel becomes your biggest cost, even more than entry to the event, because John does keep the entries to the. I mean, look at the entry fees to some of these other big events. They are huge. Now, it is not so big of an event as like Power Tour. We don't have thousands of cars, but actually it's a really good size. In a weekend, you can talk to a lot of the people, and they are not so, like when we're there, we can talk to a lot of people when we're not so overwhelmed. Can you imagine going to Power Tour and being somebody like Vice Grip Garage, and everybody wants to talk to you, and there's a line of people at your booth that you have to stand up for hours? That would be...
Says, I miss living in Georgia. Why? Where are you? Where are you now? I can understand if like you're in, I don't want to say anything bad about any place, but when you get in the northern states, like North Dakota or something, you can freeze. Georgia's pretty nice. But we're in Tennessee, very similar to Georgia. We border on Georgia. And we have some cold here, but not like when I lived in South Dakota when I was a kid. And, 32 below zero one morning walking to school. That's cold. And it was nothing to be below zero. It was below zero a lot. And we never have that. Oh, no, we did have that here. We were 3 below last year, remember? Oh, that's the coldest I ever seen it here. But that was like 2 or 3 days at Christmas. It shut everything down. Okay, let's see. I was in Atlanta, burbs for 17 years, moved to Louisiana. Okay, so you're in Louisiana. You're still in the South. You know, it's still warm, I think.
Mike, is Mike making it to... Are you going to try and be at No Name Nationals? Louisiana is within striking distance.
Oh, Louisiana
perhaps.
is definitely within striking distance.
If you can get time off from work. Not everybody can have multiple vacations.
Yeah. We seem to be in second of 3 days near 100. It's hot.
Oh, it's hot here too.
And 100 in Georgia, you got the humidity. When I was in Arizona, 100 was like, I mean, this sounds stupid. In the summertime, that was a really cool day. It'd get down to, I remember going out in the evening to places that were all outdoors, and it'd be like 105, 108, like that in the evening. But that's not much above body temperature, and when it's dry, like 10% humidity, you're never sweaty feeling. It's just so comfortable. And when the sun's on you in the daytime, it'll be 120, 115 to 120 usually. And yeah, that'll get to you if you're in the sun working. But it's not like 100 in Atlanta. That's like sticky, horrible, hot. Yeah.
If you go outside here, it feels like you're jumping into a lake. It is so humid.
Well, Barrows, thank you.
That Zoom meeting thing, so there is so much to do to organize an event like the No Name Nationals. And when you get there as a content creator and also as a racer, there's so much to do to, interact with people and race your car. You got to get through tech. Like, it goes so fast. And so for somebody to drop everything, forget about their car, forget about talking to, the other people that they're working with. Because honestly, very few of the people, most of us are fans of each other. Like, we're a big community. So it's just like seeing all your friends. But to drop all that, to say, okay, sorry, I'm busy, and then record it or live stream it, is a big ask for anybody in the community. So it doesn't really get done very much. I'd like to talk to John, or I know John would like to see it. It would be great if somebody is able, maybe somebody who doesn't even have a car but has a channel and has some creative ability, like how we do this live stream, could set up a place for people at the track in the evening to maybe rotate in and talk about the event. But then the other thing is, a lot of the content creators, they don't really want to get out instantly, because they want to take what they get, go
Right.
home, compress it into videos, and then post it on their
They
channel.
want to post it on the channel.
So it's really rough for, as a content creator, this is just like something fun that we get to do. I don't know, to translate an event like this into something, you like have to be there to understand it and enjoy it to its fullest. But I know that there's going to be people trying to give you the feel of it, and
Yep. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, you want to get
So-
onto this car? Can you
yeah,
put my-
we're
can you
only
put
an
my-
hour in. Let's
We're
get
an
to the,
hour in already?
No, we're half hour in. Let's go back
Okay,
to
let's
the
go back. Okay.
topic.
It's great to walk around and talk to everyone. In the car. Yep. The first year I was there, I didn't know anybody yet. I met Kim there on the first year.
I know, that was great. We got to meet
So
each
so
other.
we met each other.
And we've been working
but
together like
The
ever since.
second year I was there, I knew a lot of people, and it was really fun. And then of course new people showed up. Okay, we got a car up there behind us, and
Mexican spec, don't tell anybody.
yeah, Mexican Spec and I have already talked about this. Kim said, "Oh, it's a Ferrari." Wrong. That's not a Ferrari.
I mean, it looks suspiciously
Although-
similar.
Although the wheels on it were made by the same company that made the Ferrari wheels.
Custom Deluxe. I'm glad you made it to
Yeah.
No Name Nationals. I think it's funny that
It's
you
good
did
to
meet somebody from 10 miles from you.
That's pretty funny, yeah. And it's good to see you here. Oh man, the first year at No Name Nationals is like, man, I just met so many people, and a lot of those people I knew online, but a lot of them I never knew at all. And then when I came back home, I started watching all their videos. So the next year I went there, man, it's like I really knew everybody. It's a Ferrari, sorta. I mean, that would be a good nickname for it.
A Lamborghini, if you will.
Lamborghini. Nobody's gonna guess what it is. It's a Mera, M-E-R-A, which was sold in Pontiac dealers as a new car. It was made by Mexican Spec will probably pull it up, or you can pull it up.
Oh, what do I have to pull up?
Pull up Pontiac Mera, M-E-R-A, PontiacMera.com.
.com.
Huh?
Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
Well,
I'll
that's
get it.
that's the website, and yeah, it's a factory done conversion. There were 247 of them made, so it's not like a kit car where everything's dubious. It's a company that did like van conversion kind of stuff. It was professionally done for end of the '87 year and through the '88 year. Although GM got in some trouble because they were selling them at Pontiac dealers. Yeah, here we go. If you can
I'm working on it.
you can make that so. But now that people know what the website is, they can go there and read it themselves. And there's the history of it. I just wanted you to see the website if you're interested in the car.
I mean, it's not our car.
can
We
go
don't
there.
have a car. It was something interesting to give us something to talk about, so the stream didn't.
Stray Bullet says, drop an LS in that. Well, here's the deal. There is a company that does that.
What, puts LS engines
Well,
in...
hang on. There's a company called
Euro?
Archer. Archer builds kits, and they also do it there at their company. they put small block Chevys in them, and I think recently they've started putting some LSs in them. But the small block Chevy in there is an inexpensive engine. It's another one that's a professional kit that they'll install. You find one with an Archer kit in it, and there are some of these with Archer kits in them. And in fact, I was looking at one just before we came on tonight because I got interested in it again. I was like, oh man, I like that car. And, one of those with an Archer kit. Well, shit, I found one. And it had a 383 small block Chevy with a 5-speed. And, oh my God, what a car that'd be. 383 Chevy, that's 400 horsepower. And, man. Oh, yeah, how much fun. I'd rather have that than a Corvette.
But Pontiac got.
Yeah, they had some trouble. I don't want to say what trouble because I don't know exactly what.
They
but I know
had to
there was,
stop making them.
I know there was a problem.
They had to stop selling them from the dealership, and then people started pulling molds and selling kits.
Yeah, all the kits that are that body style that go on the Fiero were their molds pulled off the Mera, or their molds pulled off clones of the Mera. Other kits that were pulled off of them. So the the Ferrari didn't have pop-up lights. What were they, behind the grills? I don't know. So the the one to get would be the Mera because it's all factory wiring and everything. But the kits, if you got somebody that built a good kit that was body panels were pulled off the Mera and they did a good job on it, that would be okay. Or man, if I could find a set of body panels and find an old Fiero because they're not worth anything anymore. It'd be fun to build one.
Actually, that's not true because there's a following for them Fieros. You could, not worth anything. Like $2,500. You'll be paying for one that's not falling apart.
I saw one down the road here.
Yeah.
What's a place right down the road that we go through? Cumberland Furnace.
Yeah. When is this?
Like a week ago.
Really?
$600.
Why didn't you buy it?
I don't have $600 to spend on shit like that. Oh, stuff like that.
It's probably a piece of crap.
A clean Fiero GT.
Probably got a blown head gasket. Worn out everything.
You know what? It was a Pontiac Iron Duke. It was a 4-cylinder.
Oh, that's probably a good car.
But that's fine with me. I don't need to go that fast.
You should have said something. We'd have gone down and got it. That's why you didn't say anything, because we would have gone down and got it.
No, I'm afraid you...
I put air in the tires of the trailer. I'm within striking distance.
I'm afraid you buy it for me. and then two things. I'd have one more project, and then you bought my car from me. And there's some part of me that goes, I should buy my own car.
See, Barrows knows. A decent Fiero, one that's not all messed up, rotted out, or burned up engine, could be worth good money.
This one was dirty, but it was a non-running car. Okay, for $600, but the body was fine. The glass wasn't broken. It would have been an okay car for a project. But we have enough projects.
Yeah, and we're not into Pontiacs, so.
Oh, I love Pontiacs, but we don't have any.
Like shifting gears too much is really tough. Like right now, we're collecting like a lot of Mopar stuff, but we also have Chevy stuff for the your car. What's your car? The
Studebaker.
The Studebaker stuff. We have some Studebaker stuff, but really and then we have Chevy, and then I'm working on Fords.
And you have V6 Fords.
Too much.
And then the car I keep seeing, it's kind of over the hill a little bit, but it's in one piece down there. Is that
the little blue convertible.
The Spitfire.
The Spitfire, yeah.
So I kind of want to do the.
They have Ferraris up there.
Well, why wouldn't they have Ferraris in... Where's he at? Indiana?
He's further north.
What kind of Stud? I have a 1961 Studebaker Lark, 2-door, post car that has 6-cylinder in it. But I got it all apart. I started taking it apart in Arizona, then we lost the contract out there, so I had to bring it back here in pieces. The good thing is I took it apart, everything went in Ziploc bags. All the hardware, every little piece went in Ziploc bags, all marked what it is, all packed in totes. Yeah, that's a 4-door. The one on the lower right, except some idiot put fender skirts on it. That one. Yeah, mine's this.
Oh, whoops, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Well,
Mine is that one.
so we got that. You know, right now we're working on. Once I get the cab off of that, an engine off that truck frame, the Ford truck frame, we're gonna look into if it's wide enough and if we can use it to put the, because we'll have modern. Okay, we've got lots of ideas, but first we have to get ourselves secure for No Name Nationals.
The Studebaker has a really wobbly, kind of weak C-channel frame, and the steering system on the Studebaker is like something they developed in the 1930s. It's okay, and you can still buy new parts, but I would much rather have more modern front suspension and a better frame. So originally, I bought a subframe. Man, I'm losing my voice tonight. I'm taking these cough drops and it's not helping.
Tony is smarter than we give him credit for. In what particular way is he smarter than we give him credit for?
So originally, I bought a subframe for a '79 Trans Am because that's all good stuff. And I remember driving those cars when they're.
We're gonna have a heck of a time dragging those out of the weeds. They've been sitting there for a couple years.
So that was my original plan.
Yeah.
But now we've got a couple more.
We have other options.
We have other frames, other options, and I guess I could buy original stuff. Goofy steering on the Studebaker, which I strongly dislike. And then the suspension is kingpins and trunnions, which there's nothing wrong with, but ball joints is more modern kind of suspension. I guess I could make it all the Studebaker way and just put
We
the
did
small
get
block
the
shit in.
Studebaker engine running. We could even make the Studebaker
Tony
engine
won't
run.
buy a car he doesn't have a lot of extra parts for already. Yeah, well, that's why he has all those
I mean,
Jeeps.
honestly, that's like, yeah, pick a brand. It's so much easier. You can put up parts and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
why do you buy all these weird brands?
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
He has that crazy bell crank. Oh, yeah, it has that crazy bell crank that comes off the center of the cross member. You know what else has that? And I didn't know this for many, many years. Out in Arizona, I was in a complex that had a bunch of shops. And there were people who just parked motorhomes in there. But then there were like 3 or 4 of us that were in there every day working. And there was an old guy up a little ways from me. He had all these C1 Corvettes in there. And once in a while, he'd need help moving cars around. I'd come down there and help him. And, you know, they'd be on jacks. You're like, got 2 jacks in the car tipping around. So we're moving around a, I don't remember what it was, 55 or 56 Corvette. No engine. I looked down, and the steering looked almost like the Studebaker. It's like, oh my God, they did that on these too. It was horrible. So, yeah, I don't really like that bell crank. And Studebaker started that, I think, like in, I don't remember what year, 37 or 38. You know, really? That's almost a 100-year-old steering system. It's crazy.
I can't even find a picture of it.
Of what?
This suspension.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Studebaker. It's oddball thing.
So Barrows knows about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was working on a Studebaker
I'm
last
trying to
year.
remember. I'm trying to
Last
remember.
year he was building one.
I watch Barrows sometimes, but like I always say, there is so much content.
Oh my God.
So many people. I could just. I get in there in the evening and start watching videos, and I watch one after another, and then pretty soon I'm asleep. I wake up and whatever I was watching is done.
Barrows says the front end is the same as a 51 Land Cruiser. That's wild.
Wait a minute. Different Land Cruiser. Many years after this, Toyota came out with a Land Cruiser.
Okay.
But Studebaker had a car called a Land Cruiser. And it
Oh,
had a nose
Studebaker
had a
Land
nose that
Cruiser.
looked like a bullet.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll
Yeah,
find it.
find 51,
I'll
50, 50 or 51 Studebaker. They're a little different, but they both have the bullet nose. There's a lot of content. It's hard to keep up, but that's right. RC industry, I ran into something that I didn't know you had. Oh, look at that one with the wood on it. Holy crap. That looks good. I ran into, I think you have 4 channels. I know you have 3. I ran into one that I didn't even understand it was you till it was partway through, and I don't remember what it is now. Because RC Industry has his cars. RC Industry is RC. What do you call it? I forget. RC Farms or something. I learned so much from you on there about just having a garden.
He was excited to find
Like,
your other
man,
channel.
look who this is. I can't look who this is. I'm sitting there watching your videos.
I watched your videos for a long time till he told me that you had another channel. I had no idea. You should, every once in a while, you should plug your other channel.
And then,
be like, hey,
yeah.
I have another channel I do gardening on. Just
And then I
every
wanted-
once in a while,
just-
so people are aware that it exists.
Like this week, I ran into another one. That's it. Du Bois County flips. That's the one I ran into this week. I didn't even know that was there. The 51 has the glass bullet and the upper package ones.
Has it light in them?
Light. Oh, yeah, but the light, I don't know, people do that.
Oh, I
the
see
difference
one.
between a 50 and a 51, okay, that blue one up there that you just pulled up at the top, that's 51. See the little grills? You're flipping pictures around. The little grills there have like little scoopy things around the bullet nose. The 50 does not have that. It doesn't have those little contours. There, that blue one that you got your right there, that one. See, no, that's a 51 as well. The 50 doesn't have, oh, that's cool. The 50 does not have that. I think all those are 51s. You must have searched 51.
I did.
Okay, that yellow one there shows it real well that the grills contour around the bullet nose. The 50, the grills don't do that. They're just two little oval grills.
Oh.
But the 50 and 51 have the bullet nose. Man, there was a guy in Florida making bullet nose, fiberglass bullet nose, whole front end to fit the last generation of El Caminos. But people put them on all kinds of things. But he's gone. He's out of business. I wanted to buy one of those kits. One guy put one of his kits on a Ford Taurus wagon.
There it is.
It looks so good. What are you looking at there? Oh yeah, that's a 50. Has the grills that don't have those. It has like the little side grills up top that look like the rest of the propeller on an airplane, and then it has the oval grills on the bottom. And most people take the front bumper and that valence panel off, and because it looks cool without them. I don't know about most people. A lot of people do. Okay, I've got to get caught up with the. I'm not reading the chats. Even though it's suicide 4-door, yeah, suicide. All of those pieces in the bullet are separate as well. Yeah, I've seen those things all disassembled in different pieces and everything, and there's a lot of stuff. Where's my bullet nose?
RC Industry, I would tell you to put up links to your channels, but I don't know if they'll work. I think they'll automatically get moderated.
No, that you can't do it here.
And I don't want to have to
But here's what you
ask
do.
Mexican Spec to pull it up because I don't know if he's on a computer or on his phone.
Yeah,
but
it's
he,
RC Gardens.
but we would.
Like on RC Industry, RC Gardens, down below, just put in your description, put links to all your channels. You might have more channels than I even know about. It's all good stuff.
so-
What are you doing?
It's time to do the beverage section. We've been doing the beverage section every
That looks
week.
like ice cubes.
It is. It's ice cubes. I've got myself an Arizona Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea, half lemonade.
Let me see this.
They're still 99 cents. Arizona's keeping it real.
21 grams of
Oh
carbs.
yeah, that'd kill you.
per serving, and there's 2 servings in here.
Well, that's why I
that's-
actually had it cold and I let it warm up so I can put it over ice because I got to mix it with some water or else it's too much sugar.
Mexican Spec put it up. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Mexican Spec. He can put up all the links. Darcy
Oh,
Gardens,
thank you, Mexican Spec.
RC
I'm sorry
Gardens.
to ask you to do that.
RC Gardens, RC Industry, and what's the other one? He has 2 others, I think.
Maybe just letting people know that there's content out there with
it's-
some of our other creators that we Rick, we love your I really enjoy watching your stuff. And I'd like to see you get a Slant 6 vehicle to the No Name Nationals, but if you're in a truck and I'm in a car, it's not really a reasonable contest. And
Well, see, our RC Industries, I give him his plugs on his channels, but he's a cool guy. You know, the first year at No Name Nationals, I went over there and talked to him. I think it was me. I don't remember what happened, but he said he had that big Ford. What was it, 74 or 5 or 6? Big giant green Ford with a like a 351M or something in it. And he says, yeah, it'll go, you go all the way up to 60 miles an hour in this thing. I just had to laugh. But he was out there racing it and having a good time with it. And I bet he beat somebody with it. And no, the first year I had a Chrysler 3. Okay, so that was the second year. That was 23 that you had the big Ford. And then Kim told me you sold that thing. I hope not.
I think he did. You can't keep them all.
Well, and you had the special air cleaner you could see through. It was like the 351M under glass. Yeah, the old LTD. That was a pretty cool thing. So what are you going to have this year? Did someone offer me too much money? Yeah, and that happens. That happens to me. I've let cars go, then I look back and go, why did I let that go? Well,
I like that blue truck.
I need
Is
the
it
money.
running good now that you have the new cam in it? Or are you still not have the video out since Power Tour? I know Power Tour was a huge distraction from working on YouTube content.
Oh, Barrows, yeah, the clocks, they wind up.
I put them up
That's-
there. Is one of those ones the right one?
My 56 Ford,
Is
one of my
this one
56
here?
Ford, and my dad's 56 Ford, it would wind up.
Is this the one?
I
Studebaker clock?
I think that's what he's talking about. It would. That's how all the old clocks worked. They wound up electrically, and then they ran with tick, 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 tick. It's just crazy stuff. 77 C10 or 74 Dodge D100. Oh, yeah, 74 Dodge D100. Yeah, I like that.
I was going to tell you to bring the C10 and then we'd race tow vehicles, but I don't know if I'm going to have my... We may just bring...
She
the
says she's bringing
van.
the Dart, and I'll probably drive a van over there, or we'll switch off or something.
Yeah, but I
don't know.
wanted to get the green truck done, but I don't know that we're going to have time.
What is this? What is this?
It's John Wilburn. Welcome to the
Oh,
stream.
John! Man, I'm scrolling out as fast as I can, trying to read them all.
Thank
and
you
I'm
so
not
much
catching
for
up.
the special stream shout out, John. It was fun. It was great to like be in the presence of community when we got over that hump, and things are still rolling. We're still trying to do the shorts every day, and you've been great encouragement. And I know you're working so hard. Like, you don't have to do all that, but you
Look
do
at
all that hard work for people, just so that you can run your event.
Before it's gone, Dougster, good evening. Clint Street Machines. Hello, how you doing? Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Dougster and Clint.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I
No,
had to
no, no,
interrupt
no,
because
we're
it disappears and then I forget who.
This
came
stream
in.
is really about the community, so we talk about stuff to keep it rolling. But when people come and go, we want to recognize you.
You want to
because it's
eat
fun.
buff shrimp and eggs? Man, that is like the worst video I did. I got like this many views.
He didn't even offer me any. I
thank
must
you
have
for
ate
watching.
something that day already.
No, I asked you. And
I said
yeah,
no.
yeah, you were.
I already ate.
She and I, we both have dietary things we have to pay attention to, and there's a few things we can both eat, but we eat separately mostly. And
we get hungry at different times. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
hungry in the morning, and we're just impossible.
a
We
lot
try
of-
and share meals a couple times a week.
a lot of times I'll say to Kim, "Did you eat yet? You want anything?" And yeah, okay. And then other times, no, I already ate. Okay. So yeah, we do stuff like that. Those shrimp, I just buy the ones that are already cooked. They're frozen in the store, and they have like tiny ones and medium and big ones. Those are the medium, and I just keep them frozen in the freezer and
That's the great thing
Ziploc.
about frozen stuff is,
And I just put a few in.
and they thaw super fast in the skillet. John, they're hosting a content creator workshop on Sunday.
Sunday.
We've
okay.
learned a lot from making shorts, and we were talking about it. And if we were ever going to really discuss it, probably a content creator workshop would be where
Well-
we could relate some of the things we've learned.
When John gave us that whatever it was challenge, I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't like shorts. I don't like to watch them. The whole thing annoys me. But I thought, maybe I'll get some subs and this challenge. Yeah, I'll do it. Well, we learned a lot. Um, I learned I can take a short on the phone and upload it, but I prefer just my way of doing things. I prefer to edit stuff. So I'll do like 5 or 10 minutes and then shorten it down. And I've learned how to do that and put all the important parts in like 50, 55 seconds, 58 seconds. Uh, so it did me a lot of good there. And obviously, I have had over 100 subs. I was a little channel, and to have over 100 subs since then is amazing. So John helped us some that night with the
Getting the word
the
out.
500 party, as he
Yeah.
calls it, and then doing a content creative work. You need to be on that. You are the.
Well, he has Lars, and Lars is good.
No, but I
Lars
mean,
knows
you
his
need to
stuff.
participate in the chat on that because
Yeah.
you are really good at
I'm learning how to do better. We're putting together better shorts than we ever did, and there's a lot of mental work that goes on there, like insecurity and self doubt and self sabotage that you have to overcome to start really pushing out a lot of content. And if something flops, being able to just be like, doesn't matter, do another, do another, do another. It's like coming at you now. The days go quick, and you're like, we didn't do a short yet today. And you're like, you would think 60 seconds is easy. But to be creative and have that focus, it's boy, is that a learning. We're all learning together. Yes, thank you, John, for pushing. Everybody wants to be part of the creators who are being super successful and have so many subscribers and all this attention, but there's very few people who are willing to be out there in the weeds helping people who are starting out or who are maybe not the most relatable or biggest channels. And John, you're just like a champion for people, and I really appreciate it.
um. Don't pull that picture up yet because
Okay.
right now we're in the middle of something else. Um. I'm staging my next picture. Um.
Barrows, he was talking about he's got his engine running and stuff like that, but he didn't have his camera going.
You know how many times I've done that? We have learned to have a camera.
You got to
standing
get
by.
that camera running. It's obnoxious. Sometimes I got 3 cameras running, and I got video from stuff from ages ago that I'll never use. But if you're not in the habit of running that camera, then when something good happens, the camera won't be ready. You got to get it going.
Kim and I were talking last night about what we want to do in the short term future, and one of the things is Kim hasn't done any lives in a while on her channel. So we're thinking about when we're working up the shop, just turn on the camera and point at what we're working on. We did a few of those, and they were pretty good.
They were okay.
And we had a good time.
I was so pissed off because that Subaru was thwarting my every effort to save it.
But I think working in the shop with the camera going on a live on your channel is pretty good stuff. And so we may do that, just a surprise live a couple of times during the week, and see how that goes. I don't know how people like that, but I think people liked it.
Yeah, we got to keep trying new things. Throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
And okay, I want to respond to what John said there, and I was going to say something we did like almost a year ago is Kim put really good internet up in the shop, so so we can stream from the shop without any problem at all. We got fiber here in the house, but we've got such a good connection up there that it's.
Oh yeah, I put a radio frequency. There's a box here and a box out there that bridges to the garage, and then there's Wi-Fi in the garage. So, like when we go up there with our phones automatically connect to the Wi-Fi up in the garage and everything. So, and it was like $50, but it's worth it. Man, it's nice, because
Okay, John said this is an event for us. The mega channels are welcome, but they can't get mad if I don't recognize them. Here, I asked John a question at the first annual No Name Nationals, and the answer I got was, I was kind of, and then there were several of us there. This conversation went other places. I asked him what the largest channel was that was there, and he was kind of like, well, we don't care about that. And my question was really, the answer I was looking for is I assumed everybody there was new, and there were a lot of people who just made their 500. They're trying to get 3 more subs at the gate, and I was just wondering, of the new people, which one was the largest? Like, was there somebody who made 1,000, or was there somebody there that was 800 or something? And I think John thought I meant like one of the mega channels was there. No. I wanted to know who had the most growth during the event, and up till then. So, John, I'm sorry I probably worded the question badly, but that's what I was looking for.
Barrows was talking about security cameras set up at the shop so you don't miss anything. It might help, but I mean, it's really hard. You really have to focus on framing shots, moving things around.
Yeah, Pole Barn was there. I met.
He had grown big already by then. Yeah.
I met him, and I met his son at
the restaurant.
Yeah, Lambert's.
Yeah.
We were sitting next to them, and on the other side of us was Levi's, and I don't remember who was next to you on the other side of the table.
I don't remember.
But I remember what we ordered. Michael Gayton, give me a shout out. I'm from Ann Arbor.
Welcome to the stream.
I remember what you got for dinner that night. She ordered chicken. Oh, it was you? RC was sitting there. Oh man, it's like I didn't know you yet. So I just met you right then. I can figure out it was you. But Kim got chicken at Lambert's, and she got this meal. It was like, she just looked at it, and somebody said, "Is that a whole chicken?" And she goes, "I don't think it has any wings." But basically, it was a whole chicken. That was huge, which is kind of how everything is at Lambert's. Everything's huge, everything's good, and then they bring you more food. It's like, don't eat till you're full. Eat until you're tired. That's really something. So if you go there, really try to make Lambert's on Thursday night. It's Thursday night, right? Thursday? Yeah, it's... John, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Yeah, and last year Pole Barn went to a different event. I don't know if he's going to be there this time or not. Clint Street Machines, I would do a live stream, but I went around a lot. Clint, you like made us really feel at home there. I was beat. She and I were walking around in the sun, and you guys had these chairs sitting there and big umbrellas. You have a seat, and I sat there and just enjoyed it. And we enjoyed talking to you and sitting there with your car. It was up by the drag strip, right where we get right there. It was perfect, and we really enjoyed spending some time with you there. And I needed to sit down. Made me feel at home. So many weird cars around the property. You can do a short on and odd thing. Yeah, some of those cars, I really know what I want to do with that blue Spitfire. But we really can't pull it up there yet, and I don't want to just go talk about something I don't like. I'm gonna do something, and then I don't do it, And a lot of people do that stuff, and I don't want to be one of those guys. Like I talk about the Studebaker, about plans I had, and different plans change, and it's still sitting there, and I feel bad about talking about I'm gonna something. I'd rather talk about something we're actually doing.
But you still have to think about.
Right.
You have to be willing to dream about the things that you could be doing or you want to be doing.
I suppose. I dream about all that stuff, but I don't want to really put it on videos.
Yeah.
And then I've
It's better
committed.
not to do that.
I've committed myself to it. You know.
Things
The-
change. You try. See
what's
what you
this?
want
What's
to do.
this? The that Spitfire. I know the body's
It's
crap.
pretty toasty.
It's that body is made out of some tiny bits of rust and a lot of Bondo. That's not a good car. But underneath it's okay. So if we can make it run, if you can make it run, you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
pull
do
the
a
body
runabout
off of it and we'll make something. And I've got a pretty good idea
I
what I want to
already
do.
took the carburetor apart and cleaned it all out, so the carburetor's ready to go. And the ignition system is all there. It probably just needs the points cleaned. It's probably a easy breezy. Probably probably has a bad fuel pump. I'll probably need to put an electric pump on it, but like that's
Dudes with wrenches. You know, he did so, dudes with wrenches. I got so tired of hearing that. It's like, I don't want to hear that again. And then I started making fun of him. You know, I do other things I can't do online that sound similar. Do it. Just, I don't know. He did well with it. But I got tired of dudes with wrenches. I don't know. How's he doing? Is he still around? Don't know.
yeah, I don't see his stuff as much.
I mean, he did well with it.
Yeah.
Buff with Kim. Yeah, Buff sitting here and Kim doing the work. You know,
That's not true.
my age got to me, and I didn't understand that till I was down at Kim and I were down at Uncle Tony's shop, his last shop, and he had somebody in there with a satellite or a GTX or something, had a 440 in it anyway, and Dr. Art, how you doing? Man,
Welcome to stream, Dr. Art.
enjoying watching your stuff.
Monday night he falls asleep. I put him to work and he falls asleep. I'm like, Dr. Art's on. He's like, I gotta get up.
Never
and
watch
it."
Dr. Arts live because it's Monday and it's like my Monday is like has always been Monday off. I don't have to do anything. Now there's a live to watch and I sleep through it. Sorry about that. But I watch your other stuff. So where was I at? I don't know. I was talking and lost my place.
I don't know, but boy, we've been so busy. You have a picture of a car over here. What are we?
Oh, bring it up.
Bring it up. Okay.
Okay, let's see if anybody knows what this is. Mexican Spec may know what it is. Not a production car.
It looks a little bit like a Corvette.
It's a what do they call it? Getting old. I know what I was going to say about getting old. We were down at Uncle Tony's, and he needed help with something. I slid underneath the car. Fine doing the work. I slid out, and I couldn't get up. And it took me like
You were
15
bad
minutes
that day.
to stand up, bent over, finally got my butt on something that I could rest on. It took me 15 minutes to stand up straight. And that's when I realized that something had changed.
Yeah.
And
we kind
now
of stopped going down to Tony's not long after that because it was just the strain of driving down there and working in the cold because it was
And
winter.
if I get
It
under
was rough.
a car, I'm in trouble. So Kim does almost all the work underneath the car, and I feel kind of bad about it because I'm not under there participating in some of the hard work.
That's why we don't show him under the car.
Okay, we got guesses up here. Mexican Spec got it first. It's a concept car. That's what I was trying to think.
Oh.
And Lester LeSabre. Hello, Lester. I said hello to Lester. I didn't even know he was in here. Lester LeSabre says Pontiac Banshee. Yes, that was a car that was built. They built a bunch of them, but only two of them were running cars. One of them was a convertible. One of them was this one, and they were built in 1964. Looks newer than that, but it was a small car
that doesn't look like a 64.
that Pontiac was going to do, and they
That's
came
like
out.
early 70s Corvette, maybe it would look like that.
Well, the Corvette came out in '68, but the Corvette Mako Shark came out in '64 or '5 with that same look. So, and the hump on the hood is because it has the inline 6-cylinder. This is the beginning of the overhead cam 6 that they used in Pontiacs. So, yeah, I don't know. They might flip around like the Opel. Opel GT, man. I was, yeah, I loved the Opel GT when it came out. I still like the Opel GT, except they're all old. They're now they were nice cars, and now they're nice projects. It's like I got too many projects.
We got a lot of projects.
Cement gets harder as you age. It's worse than that. I can deal with the concrete. I don't always like it, and a piece of cardboard will really take the edge off the concrete. But man, it's like getting up. I'm bent over at the waist, and my back hurts so bad.
I make them
So
work.
painful to stand up.
I
And I
prod them.
don't.
Get up. Do
I
some
don't.
stuff. Do some stuff. You spend too much time. That's one of the reasons why we don't watch everyone's content. We spend too much time staring at the screen. We get old soon. We got to get up and move around, do things, work on your project.
Well, leaning over hood, I'm okay. Uh, doing all the lights, I was okay. But I crawl underneath the car. Man, and if I can do something under a wheel well, sitting on like a little bucket or something, or a roll around stool, I'm fine there. But man, as soon as I lay on the ground, I'm in trouble. And I thank you for getting under cars, Kim, because I can't get up. I wonder if the headlights flip up. The Opel GT was produced from '68 on, so how did it have those lights? This was a concept car. It had the lights before the Opel GT. That's why I put in a lift. Yeah, if I put in a lift, we would have an instant crash because we have like a 7'6" ceiling, which just sucks for a lift.
Yeah, we don't have the shop for it.
Man, and in Arizona, my shop was 2 stories high, but you had to build your own second level, and I had very little second level built in there. I could have put a lift and gone up so high I couldn't even reach the car, but not in this shop. I'm just happy I have a shop. I sold my '69 Opel to buy that '58 Fairlane. 58. I've never had a '58. I had '55, '6, '7, '9, '60, '61, '62. Never had a '63. I had a '64. That whole stretch of cars, I missed '58 and '63. Let's see. So the Opel GT copy. It could have been the people that were the they called them stylists then the designers of the cars for GM. A lot of them worked in Europe. They had assignments in Europe for a couple of years, and they come back to the U.S. So it could have been somebody. And of course, by then this happened in '64, so I don't know if those flip around like that or if they raise up. I've never seen the Banshee with the headlights open. Who knows? It was a concept car. Those might not even have lights back there. My arthritis wouldn't let me open the headlights on an Opel GT. You need strength to do that. Let's see. Chuck Jordan do it. Who did the Opel GT and the Banshee? I'm sure we could look up the history on the Banshee and see who did all of it. Lights don't open. Yeah, maybe that's what I said. Maybe they don't even open. But for me, getting up off the ground is worse. Yep, I just struggle with that. And I'll get under a car if I have to, but I know it's going to be painful coming out. Remember the Opel Manta? Opel Manta was my favorite of the Opels. And they're all gone, man. Right across the street from my first shop was a Buick dealer. And there were brand new Mantas over there, and I remember looking at them. And, lost time, lost in the time. I like the Manta GT and trim better than the Opel GT. Yeah, the Opel GT was a cool looking little car, but the Manta was had more room in it. It was a pretty nice car. And the old Opels, especially the pushrod engines, which were earlier, they were great cars. There was nothing wrong with them. It's not like the new ones. These Opels were rattle traps at the time and not pleasant to drive. I don't know. The Opels around that late '60s, early '70s, I always liked. Before that, I didn't like them a lot, and then they kind of disappeared from the U.S. They were sold here as Buicks. But in the, what was the Cadillac? that was an Opel. The Cadillac Catera. What a piece of crap that was. And that was an Opel. I hated that car. That was what a pain in the ass that was. A friend of mine had a 68 Opel wagon. That thing, yeah, that was the body style that I didn't really like that wagon. What was, I don't remember what those Opels were called. It was the predecessor to the Manta. It was before the Manta. Yeah, there's the Mantas. You got a nice looking Manta right there in the center of that
The Haggerty one?
yeah. That's the Manta that I knew. 74. Yeah, they were still around when I had my first shop right across the street. Yeah,
Oh, we didn't do the mail.
the Cadet, Opel Cadet. Yeah, Caddy Catera, the Caddy,
That zigs.
I don't know, the Cadillac Catera. My friend Carl, who's gone, not with us anymore. Carl would get laid off from the railroad and he'd have to do stuff, and he was pretty good at. He's great, great with electronics, and he did some work for a used car lot. And that guy had a Cadillac Catera, and he had it over, and Carl worked on it. He'd get the thing fixed, and a week later be back with another problem. It was an electronic nightmare, and just what a piece of crap that was. What a horrible car that was. Man, it was BMW-ish. I don't think it's as good a car as a BMW, but oh, there's a Catera,
Which one?
that white one.
This one?
Bring a trailer.
Was it that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's off the screen. But,
I know, I messed up the screen.
yeah, it's just. I mean, it was kind of cool that it was like a small Cadillac and everything, but the car was just terrible car.
Looks like a Chevy.
That was a
Lumina.
maintenance nightmare. What an embarrassment the Catera was. Nothing Cadillac. That's right. Nothing Cadillac about it. Yeah, if you want a small Cadillac. Well, the Cimarron. The Cimarron was actually, it looked like a Cadillac, I guess. It's an extremely expensive Chevrolet is what it was. But,
Can we do the mail?
oh, in a minute.
Will chat let us do the mail? Okay, in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a J body.
What else are J-body cars?
Oh, the little, there was a Pontiac J2000 maybe. And,
General Motors J platform?
yeah, there's,
Maybe I'll go to visit Wikipedia. It'll tell us all the different cars.
oh, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's a little J car. But then, yeah, they're a little tiny thing. Chevy Chevette was not a J car.
No.
The J cars were front drivers. The Chevy Chevette was a rear driver. Chevy Chevette was a weird one. It was a Brazilian car. I think it had. Oh, there you
Was
go.
it Vega a J?
No. But that was a rear driver. I love Vegas. They had kind of shitty engines, but the car was great. I had a friend right next door to me in a machine shop. I had a radiator shop right next door to the machine shop, and he was the guy that did all the head work. And he took a 283 Chevy with a 2-barrel and put it in his Vega, and I did the cooling system for him. Man, was that a nice car! Just smooth running, quiet, plenty of power, reliable. 283 in a Vega, nice car. Of course, we were in Central California, so there's not a spot of rust on it. How about the Austin Marina? Yeah, that was not my favorite car. Chevy Spectrum. What was
Ooh, that's one of those little cars.
Yeah, what did you have? You had a Sonic. Yeah, J2000, Sunbird, Buick Skyhawk, Chevy Cavalier, Cadillac Cimarron, Oldsmobile Firenze, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, all those cars. They were okay, but just to put the Cadillac name on it, charged 2 or 3 times as much. That was a long
Well, look,
shot.
there's the price right there.
Oh, what was it?
It was a lot more.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
was an extra $12,000. What did they put nicer interior in it at least?
They had a steering wheel with a, I think it might even been the Chevrolet steering wheel, but the logo had a Cadillac on it, and yeah, interior was probably a little fluff and some different kind of door pulls and a great looking grill. That might have been it. I don't know.
There's got to be more than that. Did they
Yeah,
have better engine
yeah,
options
had
or anything?
Had a bigger window sticker. And if you're in the Cadillac dealer, and if you're the kind of person who buys Cadillacs, you don't even see the Chevrolet and the Pontiacs. You don't know about that. You just go in there's this little Cadillac-looking car. People bought them.
Well, there was no internet, so it was difficult to do research. You didn't know that it was the same car, although you should have.
Okay, mail call, as you call it. You call it mail
Good,
call.
I get to do the mail. It's not a big mail stuff.
So we're
it's
gonna
just
call the mails.
time for delivery. So I
Kim told me there was mail call to do, so we're gonna do the mail call.
I like it when we get mail. Okay, so I got a package. While I'm opening the package, let me show you what we got. You don't see this stuff so much anymore, but I ordered too much stuff, so they sent this to me.
Oh, I got a Summit catalog.
I ordered too much crap from Summit this last week.
So now I have a
wait,
paper
let me-
catalog. I kind of like paper catalogs.
When
but
do you get to see a paper catalog? It's a rare.
you know what's bad about paper catalogs is instead of looking for an item, I just browse and I see all kinds of stuff that I want that I never.
I know, it's
I
like a
never
dream
even.
catalog.
Well, I never even would have thought
You're
about
like,
it.
look at these shocks. I could use these shocks. That would be so good. And then what else? What are look at these special taillights, ignition systems. There's so
special-
much good stuff.
Special taillights. There's only one person I go to for that.
All my money goes straight down
Mexican
the
Spec.
drain.
Mexican Spec has all the good taillight lenses and all those kind of lenses for all the cars that
Right.
we do. Except some
That's
of
going in the bathroom. So when you're having a slow day, you have something to do. Because your phone.
see, I already saw something in here I like.
What'd you see?
What?
Check it out.
This blue-looking alternator. What is that? It just is the one that's right here somewhere. That one. That just looks cool. I would never even look at that, except now I saw the picture of it. And it's $519. No.
Ooh. I mean, the alternator I got makes electricity. I don't need all that.
That's
Okay,
right. I need the
so,
battery to charge. That's all I
As
need.
cool as all the stuff in the Summit catalog is, so cool.
Pooh books,
so
as
much
my
fun.
wife calls them. I set them next to the toilet.
Yeah, Barrow's knows. This is a good poo book.
You know what I did with I have another something like this. The Tennessee magazine. Did we get a free magazine? Tennessee magazine?
This is parts porn.
So
It's a dirty magazine.
it gets really cold in my room. We got some air conditioning issue. So I took that big old magazine and I plopped it on top of the ventilator, what do you call the register on the floor, and so my room isn't freezing.
I mean, this is
Put a nice
rare
big blue
bird.
alternator right
J.C. Whitney doesn't send out
on your
catalogs anymore.
$49.99 a month.
Everything's online. I spent too much at Summit if they're sending me a catalog.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
When I was a kid, we were. I even know where I was. We were moving from South Dakota back to California because we'd been there. I was 12 years old, and we were staying in a motel, and my dad and I walked down the street for something, and they had a magazine section in there, and I bought a J.C. Whitney catalog, first one I ever seen. Took it back to the motel, and I'm sitting there. I was hooked on J.C. Whitney after that. I was 12 years old. I had all these plans of what I was going to do to cars by the end of the evening. I was like, that was fun.
All right, so here's my package. It came from, well, it's a Dorman product. Dorman.
KJ Kylie, easy up, dudes. I'm in the paper catalog generation. Hey, I'm 70
We
years
all
old.
are.
I'm
I don't
70.
think there's anybody watching this stream who's young enough not to remember catalogs.
Okay,
So it is a Dorman product, and
what
it
is this?
is. I ordered from Amazon
Dorman.
because Amazon had. I ordered it Sunday, and it's here today on Tuesday. So you know it's.
What'd you buy from Dorman?
Um,
What is that? Oh, I see what it is.
This is a brake cable.
I thought it was electrical, but it's not. It's a hose.
The
It's not a
hose
cable.
that came off the Dart was very old, and the hose that came off of the Ford Ranger was factory aged. So I didn't. It was the rubber on the outside was deteriorating, so I had to buy a new. And so I went on O'Reilly's, and then I went on Advance, and then I went on. Is that the wrong word?
No, I see. The Sears Christmas catalog was the best. Yeah, when I was a little kid, couldn't put that thing down. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm reading these chats.
I worked. At
I'm only
JC
29. Man, I remember when I was 29.
Oh, we do have a youngin is in the street.
When I was 29.
Everybody say hello to the youngin.
I knew I was going to be
29.
30 and I felt old. It's like 29. Youngest.
Never say that again.
Where's this? Where's this? Where'd he say what?
Last comment.
Sears
oh my
Kellogg.
god. Oh my
Sears
god.
Kellogg.
He's looking in the woman's lingerie section.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Oh, I think that's what he was trying to say, and I don't never say that again. Stream, but it's funny.
Jeez.
I'm blushing. Okay. Yeah.
I'm back to my.
You
This is
never
not
said what
beer.
your beverage was.
Oh, it's some kind of generic.
Well, I will stop what I'm doing, and you could say your thing.
Sam's Zero Sugar Cola, not a sponsor. We buy this because the little bottles that are like this big of name brands are like $2.50 or $2.79 or something. And this big old monster is $1. So, yeah. No, not root beer. Diet cola or sugar-free cola of some sort. At 71, I don't remember being 29. Man, I remember being 29. 29, I had my second radiator shop. Already sold the first one. I had my second radiator shop, and I was working on car. That was in, God, when was that? That would have been 1983, and I was working on cars that were all like 70s, maybe a few early 80s cars. But those were the cars to work on. Late 60s, 70s cars. Just a joy to work on those cars. And it was really a perfect time to be a mechanic. Okay, go on to your story.
Well, there's a lot of chat going on. Barrows, I agree about the catalog's giving you an asking price. At a glance, you can kind of get an idea of what the retail cost of things are.
Lord Burns! Hey, how you doing?
I worked for J.C. Penney catalog.
Not J.C.
ordering-
Whitney.
Not J.C. Whitney, not Sears. As Sears was going out, J.C. Penney picked up a lot of the catalog business, so I worked in a call center. Thank you for calling J.C. Penney Catalog Customer Service. How can I help you? I did it for a couple of years. So those catalogs.
Winky the cat. What's Winky
Is
the
it
cat?
drinkable? The zero stuff, you like the zero better than the diet.
I like them both. I'm a
Different-
switch hitter. I like this, I like that. You know how I am. When I'm in the store, I pick like one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these.
Yeah, mix it up. You know.
Oh, and sometimes I make a mixed drink. I put root beer and cola together. Yeah, whatever. I kind of laugh. Those are my mixed drinks now. So you have this.
Oh, so the thing I want to say about brake lines is you would think, oh, you just go on O'Reilly's or Advance or who's the other auto parts store right up the road by the dealership there.
Stuff here. Go ahead. These comments are cracking me up.
You're not helping. Oh, you're reading. Go ahead and keep reading.
No. I keep interrupting you.
No. It's okay. Don't interrupt me. All the local auto parts stores. You would think 88 Ford Ranger, brake line. Can I get one? No. Nobody has it on the shelf. You have to drive halfway across the country to get it, but Amazon can have it here in 2 days. I swear, they're all just ordering it from Amazon and then doubling the price. And it comes same brand. It's Thorman brand or Walker
Who
brand
doubled
or
the
whatever.
price?
The auto parts store,
Oh.
they want this double the price for the same part. I can get it in 1 day from Amazon or 2 days from them. Tell me what's happening here. They're not
Oh, it's-
stocking anything anymore. for older vehicles.
Okay, I got a toilet paper oil filter. I remember them well. That came out when I was in high school. That is, yeah. I remember.
Junkyard Digs showed one not too long ago on a project. I forget which project it was, but they had one of those.
Okay, lot burns. Good, but lift sucked the past few days. Robinson R. You're not getting in one of those things, are you? Robinson R44. It's a 4-place reciprocating engine helicopter. I know he's a helicopter guy.
Oh.
Old military helicopter guy. So he's like, I don't know what he did in the military, but somehow he ended up working around helicopters. And Lot Burns has the nicest Dodge Charger I've ever seen. It's black, and we were in his garage, and I'm looking at the hood, painted black, and I can see all the details of the ceiling in the garage in the hood because it's so perfect. It's a mirror. It's just amazing, the paint in that thing. I said, you don't take this outside, do you? He goes, oh yeah, this is like 5 years old, and I drive it, drive it a lot. It's like, oh my God. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? White fluffy cat. Wait, what are you doing with the Ranger? The Ranger.
Dr. Art, the Ranger was purchased for the engine so that I can take the 2.9 liter engine out of the Ranger and put it in the Bronco, because the Bronco 2. Because the Bronco 2 is has rock crawler gears and 4-wheel low. So I needed an engine for it. And the Ranger's just a 2-wheel drive with a bad transmission. So there's no engine or transmission because those are mine. The rear end went into the Dart, so the frame might get used for the Studebaker, but the rest of the Ranger is kind of, I don't know.
I keep seeing stuff. Now I know what Windy is. Yeah, I remember the cat with the eyes that worked with the turn signals. The RC industry got to go. Okay, thanks for showing up.
Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you again soon, hopefully.
The frame for the Ranger, the wheelbase is a half an inch within what it needs to be for the Studebaker. So I'm going to radius the wheel wells anyway, so that's easy to fix the half-inch difference of wheelbase. The width is the same. I mean, it's amazing. But, to have a 61 Studebaker Lark with a twin I-beam suspension, that's a little weird.
Doctor, the body is fine.
So I don't know. Do you need a body?
Yeah, the body's okay. One of the
Do you need it?
One of the wheel arches on the bed is a little bit rusty, but the rest of it is like, I think it's a Tennessee truck. It's never seen salt or anything like that.
I kind of want the bed, but if he needs it,
well, we've got the bed for the.
We got another bed, I guess.
We got beds, yeah.
So
I don't
at some point,
if you know somebody who needs like body parts or computer or engine parts or something like that, let me know. Work something out.
The body on that thing is probably available, and I don't think it's that bad.
The videos that I'm making.
It has a little here or there, little issues, but nothing bad.
I made a short or two with the Ranger in it, but since it's getting parted, little parts of it are in other videos that I have not finished because I've been going here and there and there and there, and you can't do that on YouTube where people lose interest.
He wants some pics. Dr. Art, one of these days we got to meet in person. It's like you're right there. And
what parts does he want, though?
I don't know. Just send him some pictures. But one day we'll just have to meet up somewhere or some event or something or one of our shops, because I feel like I know you, but
you never met him?
No, I've never met Dr. Art. All the time I hung around down at Tony's, I don't think Dr. Art was around then. He started coming around after I was working back up in Maryland, and they were racing electric go-karts. That's crazy stuff.
I have brain damage, so it does not surprise me when I'm a little bit sketchy, but I swear I met Dr. Art. Did I meet you at No Name Nationals or somewhere?
Maybe
I feel like we met him.
Maybe we did meet him, but I don't think so.
I met him.
Art, where is this? Where is this?
I'm like,
Dr. Art.
I thought I knew Dr. Art.
Oak Ridge
Do
Casino.
I just know him from watching the lives, or I do, Dougster, a little bit, but
Oh, okay. We met at the first No Name Nationals. Well, Kim and I were hanging out together, but there were times we weren't. So maybe I did meet you. Man. Yeah,
It
no,
feels like everything is moving very
you know,
quickly for me all the time.
2022 No Name Nationals, it's like I got my reservations early. I was still working for a defense contractor, but I knew I was finished there and I was in Oregon and I hustled to get back here and then get over to No Name Nationals. So I drove like 2,300 miles in 2 days and I was pretty well beat when I got there. And the whole thing hit me like all these people, I don't know them, and I met Kim, and it's just all came at me. So trying to remember everybody I met those 2 days. The second year, then I kind of knew everybody because I watched all their videos, and I kind of remembered from the first year. But the first year was I came from the airplane world to the drag racing world.
Straight Bullet says
Brain
Dr. Art
damage.
is completely against electric cars. And I'm not really against electric cars. I don't
Uh,
really agree with that kind of lifestyle, and I think it's a phase.
I don't like it being shoved down our throats. They don't fit my. They might fit me more now.
My joke was a joke. You didn't
Okay,
even catch
no,
it, did you?
no, I didn't.
I
But
think if you lived somewhere where it
I,
was good for electric cars, then get an electric car.
without thinking, I like to go get in the car, start the engine, and go 2,500 miles. You can't do that with an electric car.
No,
You can't
no.
do that. And I've ridden in a couple of Teslas, Tesla S models that were extremely fast, more than what I expected them to be. And man, the first one I rode in, it was an old lady gave me a ride. She goes, I said, "Oh, I've never seen one of these up close," and she goes, "Jump in." So I got in it. We were in Human. We were in an industrial area where the speed limit's 25, all kinds of driveways, and she whopped the street 65 miles an hour, like in about 3 seconds. I'm like, I'm hanging on. I got this old woman driving next to me, and then somebody started backing out of a driveway, and I said, maybe you should see how the brakes work. And she says, "Oh, it does. You just let off on the gas. It's regenerative braking." She's telling me all about it, and it slows right down. I thought, man, this is really something. But you know, I think the range then wasn't even 200 miles. So that's like we were in Yuma. You couldn't even drive it to Phoenix. So it's like, nah. But then like Dr. Art had those. I think they were go karts. Looked like fun. Uh, yeah, Clint, I don't remember you at 2022 No Name Nationals. Uh, how's this morning? Electric car, you would have missed the bus. Yeah, you would have been recharging. The West is getting hammered here. States. We're supposed to have rain again tomorrow. I was complaining because it rained and rained and rained and rained like 6, 7 days. I was so sick of it, and the grass is growing. I cut the grass, and then I was out there today cutting the grass, and it's getting dry, and I'm thinking, man, it hasn't rained in a week. But we're supposed to have rain the next couple of days.
Our plants are growing.
Yeah, we have
The
corn.
beans are growing. The corn's growing a little sparse, but it's growing. I think the neighbors must have fertilized.
EVs top out around 155. See, I don't need that.
When are we going to go 155?
That's a kind of
double the
stupid.
speed limit.
That's the kind of stupid stuff I used to do when I was a kid. On the street. The last time I did that, I was out in Arizona, out in the test site. It was 60 miles out of any nearest town. Nobody out there. It was about sun just coming up, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was in an '07 Grand Prix, Pontiac Grand Prix with a sideways LS engine in it. And I had that thing right up to like 148 and then got out and it got real kind of light. And I was like, oh, okay, get this thing slowed down. It's geared real high, so it didn't want to slow down real quickly. But that's probably the last thing I did, anything that's stupid. Uh, we had one tree cut down, the others. Yeah. Let's get you this
They're talking about
morning.
the weather, severe
Big
weather.
city, hour north. We had 100-mile-an-hour straight line winds. Oh my God, that'll
Look out,
that'll
people.
take oak trees right down. Yeah, if I when I that day I went 148 miles an hour in that Grand Prix, I couldn't see another vehicle. Big long straight road, couldn't see nobody around, and I'm not going to do that again.
Barrows, they'll never bring back more complicated vehicles because they want more and more people to be able to spend money on vehicles, not less and less. And the thing of it is to make the roads safer, to make, like, force people to be smarter and stuff like that. Like, you make the pool of people who can own and operate you make it smaller, and automakers don't want that. You know.
Hey, Mexican Spec, did they write speeding tickets in Mexico, or what do you do? I don't know. I had a friend that went to Mexico,
They just shoot you.
and he said the speed limits were 80, which is kilometers, so it's about
Oh.
50. And he said, that's what he drives. But then, what happens if you get caught going like significantly over the speed limit? Okay, so that's what happened. They lose their cars. I was just wondering, if you're going 10 over the speed limit in Mexico, do they stop you? Police give you trouble? They write a ticket? You have to pay the cop? I don't know. Oh man, when I was in Russia, I know what they did. You paid the cop. The whole police force in Russia was operated on bribes. Yes,
More and
there is
more they're
speeding
pushing
tickets.
for the car is going to do the driving. The car does it. I was watching I forget some.
10 over, no. It would have to be a lot. Okay, so 10 over there would be 10 kilometers, which is what, about 6.5 miles an hour. I remember in California when I first got my license, this would have been 1970, you had 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, you were going to get a ticket. Now people go 30 over the speed limit, nobody pays attention to them. And I'm kind of tired of that. That Mustang dude in Texas went to jail over YouTube videos, charged with endangering his passengers. Always carry a supply of. Yeah. Okay,
There are
so
going to be places where they make it where, like, there's only the autonomous vehicles can drive, and you'll have to park your car and get into one. It's going to be a thing at some point. You'll have to be able to live with the fact that, like, sometimes you'll have to let the car do the driving. But I hope that they're smart about it, because it's just, there's too many places. Like, I don't want the car next to me to have no one paying attention to what's going on, because what if something happens?
I see him. I see him coming toward me, and they're drifting across the line, and I'm watching them going. You gonna get back over before you get near me? And I'm already moving over to the side of the road.
Tesla backed away from some of their self-driving programs. It wasn't ready for prime time, and I'm glad. I don't want it to be everywhere all the time happening. You were telling stories to me about your ex-wife using the self-driving, and it's not ready. There needs to be rules.
In Oregon, man, I think I know where you're talking about. Right there where Mexican Spec used to live. What's the name of that place? Can't think of it. When you go into Oregon from Idaho, like coming over from Boise, that direction, going over toward. I worked in a place out in eastern Oregon, northeastern Oregon, and Ontario. Yep. But in Oregon, I'm driving my Mazda. I'm just going the speed limit. I'm not trying to. If I'm not going the speed limit, it's like 1 or 2 miles an hour over or under. It's basically going the speed limit. In Coeur d'Alene, I've never been up that far. On a motorcycle that went from Colorado Springs to Denver in less than 20 minutes, 170 miles. They got him.
I
From
saw
the
that too.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah, I think he took a plea deal or something like that because the evidence was there.
Bend, Oregon. I remember going up Highway 97, up and down Highway 97 a lot back in the 80s. All those small towns, Bend, and I was looking for property up there, and then I saw a big sign that said Californians go home, and I was living in California, and so yeah, they don't want me here. I showed that to the realtor that was showing me homes. I go, see that? I don't think I'm going to buy anything. Let the realtor know why they're not selling anything. That stupid sign, big old billboard, Californians go home. The self-driving cuts out if you aren't paying attention or loses the lines on the road. You know what? The cops here don't hunt citizens. Yeah, you know, it depends on the state. Here, I don't think they write many tickets here, because there's people like going through Nashville, speed limit's 55 on the interstate, and traffic moves at 80, 83, 84, and they don't do anything. People tailgating like right on your bumper, they don't do anything. Yo, I remember 55. That was horrible. I got tickets then. I got tickets for going over 55, like 60 and a 55, that kind of nonsense. Oh, that was terrible. Well,
I need to take a break. We are at an hour and 40 minutes.
so you need to take a break. Okay,
We're
take
having
your
a
break.
good time. I'm not leaving.
Just taking a break.
I'm just taking a little break. I'm enjoying everybody being here. This is great. We're having good conversations. Keep it up.
I wanted to say something a few
Okay, I'll be
minutes
right
ago,
back.
but I don't remember what it was now.
I don't know.
Got onto the speed limit thing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I get really annoyed at the tailgaters. Guns and Gears, how you doing? Yeah, everybody's asking, what's all this about 6'6"? 6'6", I gotta stand on a chair. Yeah, I remember getting a ticket. I drove from Sacramento down to San Luis Obispo, which is about a 300-mile run. And I was in my little Pinto van, had a V6 in it, so you had to go faster. But I was really good. 55 the whole trip, and I got almost home, and some girls pulled up next to me in a Firebird. Of course, I was a lot younger then and single. A couple of hot-looking girls, and one of them holds a beer up. And I look over and kind of flirt with her a little bit. She takes off. So I take off, and we're doing like 75, 55, And I better not do this. I slowed down. They left. I'm driving along, and here comes the highway patrol car up behind me. It's when they had those Fox Body Mustangs. Comes up right next to me. The name of my company was Radiator Express, and it had Radiator Express on this car, my delivery car. And the cop gets on his PA and he goes, "Radiator Express?" He goes, "When I pull that Firebird over, you pull in behind me." Man, I was so good that day. Except for about a mile where I was chasing these two girls. And I got a ticket for going 71 and a 55. That's the last ticket I got. That was like in probably 1986. Hey, Buff, what was your favorite state to live in? Oh, man, Arizona. Well, Tennessee's really good. But I think Arizona's better. But not much. I like the weather in Arizona a little bit better. Yeah, you're joking about the 6'6". I see that all the time. 6'6". Buff 6'6", 245 and ripped. Yeah, right. I'm old.
Speaking of old, we're back to old. Something I thought of while I was away.
Let's
It's
see.
really important.
You couldn't talk your way out of that. I mean, you were chasing girls. Oh, you know what? I pulled in behind the cop because he knew who I was. Yeah, local business, and so he's up there writing a ticket to the girls, and they drive off, and he comes back to me, and he didn't say much. He just license, registration, insurance, walked up to his car because he's in front of me, walks back. I'm not even sure he said much. I signed the ticket, and he left. I thought, man, I was so good all day, 600 miles of driving, except for a mile maybe. And I got a ticket. It's the last ticket I got. Yeah.
Guns and Gears.
It's the school zone sign.
Welcome to the stream. Sorry I missed you before you left. Okay, so
Oh, it was a little Pinto van with a V6 in it that was had a built transmission. It was I don't know if it'd go 100, but I mean it was okay. Yeah, it was a little one of those little Pinto vans. Yeah, go ahead.
I told you about it last week, but it's been a few days and I didn't remind you. Tomorrow, I gotta go to the pain clinic, and they are doing nerve block injections in my spine
Wait, when?
tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Will you go with me?
Where are we going?
Over by the hospital.
Somewhere in town. This town.
Yeah.
I guess so. What time do you have to be there?
I think 10:45. I want to be there a little bit early. I don't
Okay,
want
so
to. We can't be late.
I gotta sleep tonight and get up. Okay, yeah, sure, of course. And then,
Yeah. So.
then if you're
So
not
I've
up
had-
to it, I can drive home.
I have had spinal problems. That's I'm not lying about the brain damage. Like I have nerve damage. But I have. They did a surgery where they cut my throat and pull my esophagus out of the way, and then remove two of the discs from between the bones, and then they put a metal plate on the front of my spine because of the collapsing discs, and I have a lot of pain. It like radiates and weakness and sometimes blurred vision, lots of different things. And so it slows me down a lot, and they're trying to help me with it. And since I've got here in Clarksville, they said, well, they're having good luck with giving people like a nerve block. So yeah, before they can do the actual nerve block, they have to do like 2 tests to make sure they're not going to paralyze you. I guess it's
See-
not like a stay. Like I go in, they give me the thing, but like I think they have to do it under X-ray so they can see where they're putting the injection.
This is scary stuff.
Yeah, I'm terrified. That's why I didn't talk about it, because I kind of blocked it out. I put a reminder in my phone so it would pop up. This is happening tomorrow.
Just give them a text. I'm scared. Forget it.
No, no.
Yeah, because maybe the pain will reduce.
It might help. And the thing of it is if they have this thing that's a potential solution and you don't try it, well, then they sell what you don't really want to get well. So I kind of have to try it. Maybe it will work. Thank you, Bear Rose. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, but like I'm just kind of like, hey, it's real. Like when you have problems, you have to deal with them. And getting older, like, hey, no one gets out of here scot-free. Like we're all gonna have to face stuff. So this is something I'm doing, you know, and you can't get caught up in it. Like I've been out working on the car, working on the house, trying to like keep doing the things that I do and not get like too much in my head about it. It's either gonna work or it's not.
This is what Kim does. She'll work just like she's just going after it, and hour, 2 hours maybe, she's just like, we gotta go back to the house. She comes back here, cleans up, she's laying down in bed, she's out. It's like, okay. And she's not feeling good. And then she'll do it again. So she recovers, and then, but she doesn't work like 8 or 10 hours a day in the shop. She just can't do that. And I'm at the age where I don't really want to do that. If I'm up there that longer than a couple hours, I want to be on the mower for a while, or I want to vary what I'm doing. And I don't crawl under cars anymore unless I have to. There was something here. I know now we're on to this. So it's probably better just to stay on
Thank
this.
you, but we're not going to stay on the topic. I wanted to remind you while I was thinking of it so you can mentally prepare to be up early in the morning. I'm sorry, we got to get up early. We don't do early mornings. We really don't. And even if we're awake, we don't do much. We're like kind of slow. Although you were up this morning doing, did you cook this morning?
No, I got
Dishes.
I did dishes. I got up at 6:30.
And then went back to bed later. You were up for a while.
Oh, I got up, took a shower, went out and mowed. I finished all that mowing. Was in the shop, just soaking wet, sweaty.
That's right. You went out this morning and mowed.
Nice. Turned on the air conditioner shop, stood in front of it for a couple of minutes after I mowed because I was just soaking wet, sweaty.
Yeah, it was.
Then I came down here. I did dishes. I was checking on my video stuff. I was, I don't know what else I was doing.
You were super
And then
productive today. I was worthless.
Then I fell asleep for about an hour and a half. Got up and went, oh my God, I got to get ready for the live. had a green shirt on. I knew that wasn't going to work because then with the green screen, I'm just a head moving around without a body. So I zone out and relax. You know what I need to do on the mower is put a CB and a big old antenna on it. No, because then I'll run into stuff like wires. Short. Put 220 down through the antenna. Let's see.
Mexican Spec was telling us about getting caught in driving his Ford LTD
Well, he said something
in
about going.
Idaho from an airplane.
Oh,
Oops.
I had a disc replaced in my C5 is an airplane.
Tim, C5 is a cervical disc, and you know what? I share that experience. They would not do surgery on my neck
The pain was instantly gone.
till my arm was so weak I couldn't even lift it, and the pain it was horrible. And then they were like, "Yeah, we'll do surgery. It's okay, hon." And they got me in a couple of weeks. Actually, it was years I was struggling with pain in my neck, and then finally, when my arm stopped working, and I did. I got my arm back, and that pain has lifted quite a bit, but I still have a lot of symptoms. I'm glad that you got relief, because I guess neck surgeries are so iffy. Like, that's why they wait, because they don't want to make it worse, and sometimes it could get worse. If you get unlucky and you get an infection or something doesn't go right or it slips before it heals properly or whatever. So I'm really glad that you got relief.
They make pretty nice rechargeable walkies for cheap. You know what we use? MERS radios. They're just little handheld radios with an antenna about this long, and they're only good for about a quarter mile or so. But for the property here, it's perfect. We could talk back and forth between the house. If I'm on the mower, if we're anywhere right around here, it's perfect. If we go up the street to a store, nope, can't go that far with them. But man, those little radios, we use them all the time, and just clip them on my belt or on my pocket or something. Let's see. Not the thing with the CB is just putting an 8-foot whip on the back of a mower is kind of funny. That's all. Not that I'm really going to use that.
Yeah.
You're not. I was going to ask Mexican Spec something. He said, just hollers at everybody. Yeah, we can't do that anymore. He said you got tickets for going 90 miles an hour in all these states. In California, what did they do to you for going 90 miles an hour? Then I don't know. I think I've told here what happened to me when I was 18 in California in 1972. I was in a 63 Plymouth that was pretty quick, and I got a ticket on 101, which is not an interstate, but it looks like just like an interstate, US 101. I got a ticket for going 105 in a 65 zone. Cop just wrote me the ticket, sent me on my way. I went to court, and the judge says, guilty or not guilty? I'm thinking, what am I going to say, you know? No, I was only going 95. Yes, I just said guilty. And the judge goes, 5 days in the county jail, take him out of here, next case. Bailiff grabs my arm, off to jail I went for 5 days. And that was, that got me to slow down.
Thanks for being here, Dr. Art. Hope to see you again soon.
Okay, and Dr. Art, we got to send him some pictures of the truck.
Okay.
We got to remember that. I'm sure I have his
If
email
there's anything
or something.
specific you need, let me know, and I will. I'll pull it or set it aside, or give you a description of what condition it's in. But we're using a lot of it.
Pulling a tow dolly at 90 miles an hour, a highway patrol officer gave you a ticket, and I took traffic school. It wasn't a big deal. Man. Oh, yeah, it was a big deal for me. Judge was an asshole. I took all the money I could get together. You know, I was 18, working in a wheel alignment shop part-time because I was in high school. And it was the Monday morning after I graduated from high school. I ended up in jail. What a way to start.
Bear Rose, you were saying something about flat. There's no flat rate, and we'll do the timing in the morning. Hey, That's how we've been doing. Is like we poke at it, we go out, we give it our best. When we're tired, we stop. Because like it doesn't matter. It's not the car we have to drive to work tomorrow morning. And like I remember I did that for lots of years. I kept vehicles going. I had there was two cars in the family, and one of them always had to be working. And if the main car was down, I had to just work until it was done, and it hurt. Whereas now, it's like, well, it gets done when it gets done. Now we have a goal at the end of summer, and it helps have a time frame. Like, okay, by the end of summer, we're gonna have this car going. But yeah, it's just when we're done, when we're tired, we quit. That's okay. But
Yeah.
we're filming at the time too. So even though we're done in the garage, we come in and now we're editing and doing stuff online. So we keep busy.
What what I was going to say about back to the speed thing. I know you're getting sick of it.
No, go ahead.
What really got me was I got a series of tickets back when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. And then I got my pilot's license. And then I took some aerobatic training. And I was always building airplanes, aerobatic kind of stuff. And that's what got me away from, that's what got me away from being stupid in cars, because I was allowed to be stupid in airplanes. And there were a couple of times I went, because it's something, I did something stupid and almost ate it. But I get some adrenaline flowing in the airplane. In the cars, I just wasn't interested in it anymore. There's too much too close to an airplane, pretty much out by yourself. Riff Raff Rackus, how you doing? Are Kim and Buff married? No. What are we? We're drag racers. We're not even drag racers. You're a drag racer. I'm an old man.
We are domestically, I was going to say domestically challenged. We're domestic shop partners. We live in the same house, we work in the same shop, and we have yet to kill each other.
So.
No, well, we'll tell the story how it happens in case anybody doesn't know. It's pretty simple. He was watching my YouTube channel, and we met at the first No Name Nationals, and he knew that I was trying to get out of Pittsburgh because the cold winters with my spine.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until you told me that at No Name Nationals.
I was hoping to find a way to get out of Pittsburgh, and you said, "Hey, if you're looking for a place to work on cars and you want to come down to Tennessee, there's a separate apartment on the property where I live, and you can come and live here." And I said, well, that's a pretty nice offer. And so after the No Name Nationals, we came back here so he could show me around the place. And he said, if you see the place, you're not going to want to come here. And I came here and I was like,
I'll explain what it is. It's an old hillbilly house, built by hillbillies in 1967. It's a little rough. I fixed some of the rooms up. When I bought this place, whoever was in here before me had punched holes in like every door, every wall, and I'd redone several rooms. No more punched holes. The doors all worked. One end of the house was probably built a little bit later, and it was they called it a den. It's a separate room with a separate bathroom with a fireplace and an outdoor door, but then it has a door that goes into the kitchen.
Yeah, the regular bedrooms are on that side of the house, and then there's another bedroom on the opposite end of the house, which is kind of weird.
That thing that they called the den, I made it into a bedroom. And I was just going to use it as a guest bedroom. It's kind of nice because it has its own entrance. So, and its own bathroom, its own shower, all that kind of stuff. It's a nice big bathroom. So then I told Kim, you could just stay there if you want. And that's kind of how it all started.
Waylon, welcome to the chat. That's kind of a suggestive comment.
What's that?
Then the drive shaft met the transmission.
Oh.
I don't know what you're implying. Domestically challenged. So,
I'm sorry. I'm putting these cough drops in. I'm trying to keep.
Relax and suck on it for a minute. Let me finish telling
trying
the
to keep
story.
my throat in shape.
So there's another, basically a very small apartment here. So I went back to Pittsburgh. I was there for 3 more months while the person that I was living with sold their 12-bedroom house that I was staying in temporarily. I packed up all my stuff. I brought my van and my trailer, everything I owned down here, and we all lived happily ever after. I had already started my YouTube channels, and he shortly after, well, last summer, started his. And we've been a mother-in-law room. Yes, I'm in pretty much in the mother-in-law room. That's not really how it's set up right now. We had to make some changes because there was some problems with the hot water tank was leaking and rotted out the floor. And yes, it was
12
a 12-bedroom house. It was a mansion.
Oh, the place in Pittsburgh. I never saw
Yeah.
that place.
I was living with a woman who was a friend. Best of friends, roommates. And yeah, she owned a 12-bedroom house. I think there was 7 bathrooms.
What was the crazy car she had that some guys helped her build and you probably worked on it?
Jawbreaker was the car. I don't remember that's the name
It was
of her
like
car,
a,
like an art
it's like
car.
it was like a 48 Olds on a Chevy pickup frame or something.
Good stuff. It was so cool. And but yeah, and then after I moved here a couple of months later, she did finally close that house and moved to Portland, Oregon. So I went back to Pittsburgh and lived another 3 months while we packed up the 12-bedroom house into multiple trailers and then took it to Oregon. And then I stayed in Oregon for a month while we set up the new property in Oregon.
How did you get back? You flew back.
She flew me back. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked you up at the
She
airport.
did not want me to go. She was really sad when I left.
Well, you're pretty handy around the house. You're really good at fixing stuff.
When I have the time that I need to pace myself because I cannot work long days. But
Well, so she needs that kind of person around.
yeah,
Oregon,
she
yes.
got that.
Portland, no. You know,
Best of friends.
when I was in Oregon last time, they made it legal to pump your own gas. It's just a riot. It's illegal to pump your own gas.
Stray bullet in Pittsburgh. This house was old enough that in the basement there were servants' quarters. A house that big, you would need to have staff. That's absolutely. It was set up for that.
Yeah, she had her mother.
Well, her
Bunch of-
mother
bunch of-
did not
bunch of
live there
dogs?
the whole time.
Oh.
When I moved there, her mother didn't live there. It was just me and her. But then they sold her mother's house because they knew they wanted to leave Pittsburgh. I don't know why. That was their thing. But I wanted to leave Pittsburgh too, so I guess it all was. I can't say.
Why would anybody want to pump their own gas? All gas stations here are full service. Are you allowed to pump your own gas if you want to? I don't know. Why
So
not?
supposedly,
Because I don't want some jerk dumping gas all over the place, making a mess.
the whole thing is if you pump your own gas, it's cheaper.
I don't want some of those kids spilling gas on my paint sometimes. Of course.
Is there full service stations anywhere around here at all?
I don't think so.
I don't even
Well,
think you
we're-
can get full service here.
When I first started working, gas station California, I was 16. Oh man, all we had was premium. That's all we sold was premium, and it's 29 cents a gallon. Anyway,
Where I grew up,
but there it was full serve. We put the gas in, we washed the windows, we checked the air, we checked the oil, did all that stuff. But if somebody got out and pumped their own gas, and sometimes you were busy and somebody didn't want to wait, they just get out and pump their own gas. That was fine. But in Oregon, it was illegal. First time I ran into this, I landed a small airplane in Oregon. The airport didn't have any gas. So, okay, I'll run auto fuel in it. Took a gas can. Some guy at the airport gave me a ride to a gas station. I went over there, pulled the gas thing out, start putting gas in this gas can. This guy comes running out. He goes, "Hey, boy." He goes, "You know better than that." He goes, "Oh, you're not in California anymore. You know better than that. You can't be. Put that gas pump down." I'm like, I'd never heard of such a thing. So he had to put the gas in the can for me.
back where I lived, there was an Exxon station, the old kind that has a garage, like a automotive repair facility there, and they have the hose that when you run over it makes the bell ding back there in the service bay, and it was the pumps, there was all manual pumps, and they would pump your gas for you, and You
Look at the
tipped
last
them.
comment.
You knew you were going to tip the gas pump guy because that's just the way you go when you go with the full service. It was a few pennies more per gallon.
I never got a tip in a gas station. Never. I check all the tires and air pressure and check
Oh, man.
oil and
It'd be
wash
like
windows. And,
20
oh my God.
degrees and there's a guy out there pumping gas. Like you made sure, or in the rain, there's no big awning
No,
at this
no
place.
hood, no awning
So
over.
they were just out there. So
Where did you live in Pittsburgh? Where didn't you live in Pittsburgh?
well,
You were there for so long.
the mansion that I was living in was on the Mount Washington area, basically. And I lived in Bloomfield for a while, but when I was younger, I grew up in Plum near Monroeville.
All this is Greek to me.
Yeah.
Except I know where.
If you're from Pittsburgh.
Except I know where Mount Washington is because I've been on that
I lived in
stupid thing that goes up that scares the shit out of me.
The eastern suburbs out near the end of the Parkway was where, I don't know. If you live in Pittsburgh, those things kind of ring a bell. Parkway East goes out to Monroeville.
Stray Bullet says, I'm feeling lucky if there's a little bit of filthy water to wash my windshield around. You know what I do?
Oh,
I
yeah,
carry
right.
I carry a Windex with me. When I get out of the car, I just shoot that all over the window. I get started, and then I go over there with the squeegee and knock it off because it soaks for a couple of minutes with the just saturated with Windex, and it cleans. Yeah, so I don't have to use their muddy water or whatever the hell's in there.
You're in the South Hills. How far down south are you? I had friends down. Like I learned that area. I didn't grow up in the South Hills at all, but I learned that's like a very distinctive area from the east or from the north. You know, and then west is out near the airport. The South Hills has the train. There's a train that turns into the subway. It goes all the way down through the South Hills. So that's one of the unique.
Tim,
features.
72 Demon, 40 miles north. Where are you? I used to live in Sharon. I lived in Sharon, Pennsylvania in, 93, 94, 95? Hey,
One-eyed cat.
Colleen.
Welcome to the stream.
oh,
Colleen.
I missed that.
Welcome to the stream.
I missed that. Just thought about to say congrats on the 500. Thank you, sir.
We're still live. We're having fun tonight. It doesn't even feel like we're working hard tonight.
That's why we do
Ba, ba,
this.
ba, 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 ba.
It's fun, and we never know where it's going. We could talk about rooms on houses, water heaters. We could talk about cars, concept cars, speeding tickets, washing windows at gas stations. I mean, we've been all over the place.
Yeah, we're just enjoying time with friends. I like it.
Kittanning.
Oh, Kittanning, yeah.
Where is that? I don't know where that is.
North of Pittsburgh.
I don't even know where that is.
It's pretty rural. Kittanning is kind of out there. There's not a whole lot of
What was
stuff.
I thinking that was just north of there where I used to go? I don't know. I can't think. I gotta look at maps. I feel like an idiot because I can't think of the names
Tim,
of the places.
what was the business that made Kittanning happen? Like, it wasn't like coal mining. Kittanning would have to have been...
I know as soon as I see it, I'll go, yeah, I'm an idiot. I couldn't remember it.
Kittanning?
Newcastle. That's a place. I used to run down to Newcastle
No,
sometimes.
I think Kittanning is more east.
More east. Oh, Butler. There was an airport at Butler, so I know I used to go
North
into
of
there.
Butler. I forget.
Okay, well, I was in Sharon and
No, I think it's further. Kittanning's further.
Mercer, and then I was up in Conneaut Lake a lot. Meadville, Conneaut Lake. I don't know. I was flying airplanes for a guy there.
I got no poison ivy today. I did so good. I came in yesterday. I was out on the back porch, stripped naked.
What?
Went in.
How did I miss that?
You were in the ground. I wasn't going to tell you to come out and watch me stripped out naked. I was covered in sweat. And like when you're pulling that stuff off, all these little pieces just fly out at you. And you know they're like burning into your skin. And it's so itchy and you cannot scratch anything. So you go in the shower, ice cold water, lots and lots of soap. You soap down like 3 or 4 times or 5 or 6 times. And you wash your hair thoroughly.
You know,
then you scrub down again. And I got no poison ivy, which I'm very glad.
Most of that was not poison ivy, but there's poison ivy all through it.
Well, no, the 5-leaf stuff is toxic too.
Oh, is
It's
it? What
all
is that
make
stuff?
you itchy.
What is that stuff?
Ivy, I don't remember.
Oh,
I didn't think the 5-leaf stuff. The 5-leaf stuff is not technically poison ivy. but it still make you itchy.
You know what I did today while you were asleep still? I came up here I got up early. I came up here with the mower right out here, and I took my choppers and I chopped those weeds that are growing up in front of the porch, just so, the Amazon people can get up to the porch. Lindair. Lindair. Lindy, or is it Lind? Lindair. PPG. Oh, PPG, the Brickyards. Streets of Pittsburgh are made from the bricks.
Is Eiler brass? Is that like
Elger.
faucets
Elger?
and stuff like that?
Lindy, the
Elger?
what else was the
Plumbing stuff.
the air.
PPG, that's glass company,
Poison
and Brickyards. Well, that would make sense. So they had furnaces up there. Okay.
Yeah,
And see, I think you could ship stuff from Katanning down to Pittsburgh on the water. So they would send bricks on barges. That would make sense.
there's a
Sumac?
lot of herbicide. Yeah, you know what poison sumac is?
Yeah, I don't. No, that's
I
not
don't
poison
think I don't
sumac
think
growing
that's
on
what
the
this
house.
is. The I grew up in California, so it's poison oak, and I got that so bad. I was in a flood up to my chest, and it was all this plant matter and everything in there. Oh my God, did I get poison oak so bad? It was everywhere you can imagine. And then I didn't even know it.
Super vulnerable and super allergic, and so he'll get sores that won't heal, and he's diabetic.
Like my whole arm will be red, and then pretty soon the skin's just coming off.
I didn't even want him to be outside while he was doing the work. I told him, I got to do this. So I went out and I set the camera up. So
I've been in a hospital before because of poison oak, and poison ivy is just as bad, but I've managed to not have it all over my body.
and then the problem with the herbicide, right? So the herbicide you might be able to dump enough herbicide on that stuff to kill it, but it's still there. Like it doesn't go away. It actually, as it dies, it dries out, and it becomes worse if you touch it. So, like, we want to get rid of it. You got to rip it out. So, I might as well just do it. And then maybe we could keep it under control with some herbicide. But we'd have to dose this. Like the whole front flower bed is just overgrown in those vines. It was actually even more horrible than I made it out in the video.
Yeah, I've been to the doctor for it.
Alligator.
I've been to the doctor and been in a hospital because they just rotten skin infected coming off me. And in what year was it? 1973. I was in a flood in California, and it was horrible. The worst I ever had it. Northwestern blackberries. Oh, I don't even know about that.
Transfusion, getting rid of those things. Barrows. What's wrong with blackberries? Why are they hard to get rid of? I'm not sure. I don't understand. I'm missing something out of that column.
What are those berries you were just? Oh,
blueberries.
oh,
They're domestic. Your ex-wife planted them in the yard, and they're
my
really
ex-wife planted them, and she moved to Florida with her new husband. And then Kim loves them. I like them, but I'm diabetic. I'm not supposed to eat blueberries, but I'll eat a couple. And we freeze them.
Yeah.
And then they're just like little crunchy candies. Pretty nice,
Yeah,
I don't even
blueberry
let
flavored
stuff
ice
get
cubes.
started. I nip it in the bud. You know what happens around here in the springtime? That stuff it's everywhere. And I know why I got it here the first year. I didn't know what poison ivy looked like. The animals, the cats and the dogs got in it, and then I'm scratching the cats and dogs and stuff, and then I got poison ivy. Terrible.
Oh, blackberries, but they're not poisonous, and you can eat the blackberries. But yeah, the bushes are terrible because the bushes grow up, and then they grow back down, and when they hit the ground, they grow roots. So they turn into this tangle of briars with thorns, and they are hooks. They grab you, and then you're like, they're terrible. But we used to pick blackberries in the summertime, and you really do. You got to make trails, and you really got to,
What are these plants? I don't even know what these plants are. My former wife planted all these plants that have thorns. I call them thorn plants. They're miserable. Plants. They just grow these big things out like this. When I'm mowing, they'll like catch my face.
They might be blackberries. I don't know.
Oh, they got little berries on them.
Yeah, they're berries. They're blackberries.
But they just, they catch on my face or my eye. I got one.
She did like
I got one today,
berries and stuff.
and the thorn got caught in my thumb, and
Yeah.
I had a hard time getting it out.
Yeah, they're miserable.
It was, I can't imagine why anybody plants thorn plants. Oh, let's plant plants with thorns all over them. Poison ivy, don't rub your, oh.
Oh, don't rub
Don't.
your face.
If I'm
It
been,
doesn't matter how bad it
if I've been
itches, you
near
gotta be
poison
like,
ivy, there's, what's this soap that I have?
yeah, I got special soap for
Got
it.
special soap.
It's fun. It smells funny.
I think it's got,
Dish soap or like ivory soap, something that's
But
really
it's-
dry and detergency. You don't want to use any kind of moisturizing soap.
but it also has
you
some
just
kind of
need to
solvent in it.
Strip the oil, poison ivy oils off you. I'm so glad I don't have a single spot of it. I thought for sure I'd have a couple spots of it, but usually I can heal it up pretty fast. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
if I-
thinking about just throwing those clothes away.
If I
I don't even want to put them in our washing machine.
if I know I've been near poison ivy, I just close into the washing machine, get in the shower, and just wash and wash and wash and wash, and I don't get it. But if I don't realize I've been in it and I let it go for an hour or something, oh my God, it's just terrible. I'm
Goat head. I don't know this thing.
Goat
I'm gonna have to
heads,
look it up.
oh,
I'll bet
goat
it
heads.
sounds like it's some kind of
Southern Idaho. They get so bad they pop car tires. Oh, it's don't burn those clothes. Yeah, don't burn them. Just wash them. I said put them in the washing machine on really hot, warm water, something. Put plenty of soap in it. Do a double rinse. They'll be fine. I'll wash them. Goat said, "Oh, those things. Oh, those things. I didn't know what they're called.
You can raise goat head as a cash crop, apparently.
Man, I mean, if you don't want somebody to come up your driveway, put like those and giant Venus flytraps and poison ivy.
AKA puncture vine. This sounds horrible. Whew. But somebody said, Waylon said, blackberries are ripe now in Iowa. Been eating them daily. Do you have the little berries that you have to pick thousands of them to really fill your belly, or do you have the great big bulbous ones? Do you like the little ones better or the big ones better?
This is something I talked to a doctor about many, many years ago when I was really young about the poison oak. Was they had shots you could get that would, doctor says, it'll make you almost immune to it. He
Yeah.
goes, or you'll get it really bad. And I went, and it was kind of a new thing, and I just stayed away from it.
So I was never like really very like allergic to it. Like I would get poison ivy, but I wouldn't get an allergic reaction to it, so I never had to worry about it too much. But they said that if you got goat milk and the goats were pasture raised, so they were out there eating the poison ivy on a regular basis, that drinking goat milk would do the same thing and you'd build up a resistance to poison ivy. But I don't know if there's any truth to that. That was, an old wives' tale. Goat milk would help you to be resistant to poison ivy.
Some of the bigger blackberries I ever, about the size of a dime, and some are smaller. Huh. You know these things with all these
Oh,
stickers
dime
all
is
over.
pretty small. So you've got the little ones. You've got the wild
Well,
ones.
these sticker
I think they have much
bushes,
better flavors.
they have berries that are about this big, like a quarter inch at the biggest. These plants out here with all these nasty stickers all over them. Thorns, not
I don't
stickers.
think those are edible.
Thorns. I don't think they're. Fells Naphtha soap. I think that's it. Oh, I don't know. Kim,
You're gonna go get it.
I'm gonna take a 10-second break.
Okay. Let's go to the bathroom. Take a peek. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. Check out my channel because this is the Buff Del Campo channel. Sometimes I do stuff on my own, and it's on another channel called Kim Fixes Things. Check it out. Poison extract worked, but the FDA shut them down. They don't like anything natural. Well,
Oh yeah,
they
there's
like to patent things.
Not a sponsor, but this stuff. God, I don't know. Can't read that.
Tech.
It's called Tech-Nu. Removes poison, ivy, and oak oils.
I wasn't that impressed with it.
You know, I think it has that. I think it's some kind of super soapy stuff that also has a solvent in it, like old fashioned.
It stinks.
Yeah, it stinks. It smells like it's got a petroleum product.
I would be just as happy to use regular, like a Dawn or generic off-brand dish detergent soap because it's very cleansing and it'll strip. Because
This doesn't
poison
smell
ivy
that bad.
it smells like medical soap.
It does smell like medical soap. So, why is he saying hi, Kim? Oh, because you said you're in.
I just I took center stage for a minute.
Oh, I see. Okay. So this stuff is. I use it if I think I've been near it. I'll just wash myself with it. I'll just wash the hell out of myself with it. And I haven't gotten it in a while, but I'm really stay away from it.
Waylon, the wild berries, the wild blackberries, they're good foraging and it's good for the soul. Go out there and just, don't get too tangled up.
Which ones? Oh, blackberries.
Yeah, have you ever gone picking wild ones?
No.
When you pull them off the vine, the center, the woody center, there's like a little flower, and then there's a tiny little pithy center. And when you pull it, it pulls off the pithy center, and it's just a little bulb, but it's tiny. Like he says, the size of a dime. I think they're even
That would be big.
They can be even a lot smaller than that, but they're very sweet. They've got a really nice flavor, and the seeds that are in them are very tiny and easy to chew. If you get the bigger ones, I don't like the texture because they're like a little bit like I don't like the texture as much. The seeds are bigger. They're more like crunchy.
What's amazing is
They're good for jelly because they're big, so they.
we got all these blueberries already.
Oh man, there's so many blueberries. First day, I got enough for us for a week.
The poisonous species.
Oh yeah. If you're in an area, don't just forage without some kind of. Find somebody who, like I grew up in Pittsburgh, I could tell you what to eat and what not to eat when they're out in the woods.
Around here we get these.
Don't eat wild mushrooms.
We got these beautiful bright orange and colorful mushrooms, and it's like, I mean, I just know better than to just go eating any old mushroom, and but I've taken pictures of a couple of them because they're so cool
It
looking.
is cool. Oh, where was that from?
What's that?
I yawned.
Oh. So, let's see. You know what? We have to do a short hit tonight, or I have to do a short hit tonight. So I could do a short on, I don't know.
Oh,
something.
could we make chat suggest a short?
Chat. We make.
You got to keep in mind we don't have a lot of time and it's dark.
So what? What are you saying?
I was just asking if chat has a short suggestion because I don't have one
the
for
chat.
tonight yet.
I
either.
see.
Yeah, we're here with a bunch of people. In spirit, at least.
Sounds like my ex.
Poisonous species. Be careful of the brightly colored ones because they can be toxic.
You know, my former wife. We mention her sometimes. She's actually a very honest person. She's a good person.
I love her
And
ex-wife.
it
She's
just
lovely.
wasn't gonna work out. And we had a family, raised a family, we were married for 23 years, and she met somebody else, and I was working for a defense contractor. I was gone way more than I was home. And
Oh my God! There's actual monkey boss. I didn't mean.
And so
Whoa.
I don't want to say anything bad about her.
Don't say anything bad
She's
about her.
actually a
There's no
good
good reason
person. And I know some people have had, well, I've had ex-girlfriends that were, yeah, poisonous. Oh man.
So the monkey balls. They always said that if you
I didn't know there was such a thing.
if you they're about this big and they're green and they're very firm. Like if you smash one on the ground, you like to throw it at the ground and it might break in half, but it might not. It might just bounce or like just might smoosh a little bit. They're very firm and they're not really like a fruit, but they are the fruit of the tree.
They look edible, but I
They're
bet
not
they're
an
not.
edible fruit. But if you cut them open, there's like a white sap in them, and they tell you to put that face down on a paper plate, and that will keep the spiders away.
We need something we have a spider problem this year. Every time I walk outside, we get steps to go down. As soon as I'm on those steps, I walk into a spider web, and like an hour later, I walk into another spider web, and I pull it all off me.
The
And an
spiders.
hour later, I'm coming up the steps, and I walk into a spider web. It's like, how do they make this so quickly? Running up around this Montana, my horse. Got a foxtail thistle stuck in his.
I don't want to see the monkey's testicles. It's not cool. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Sounds like a name for a car.
Oh,
What's a name for a
man.
car? Man, what are those? What are those big round things we have? Oak trees drop these big round things sometimes. I thought all they made was acorns, but what are those big round things? Are they off the oak trees or what? You see them out here on the ground sometimes.
Those are tick nests.
Really? No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I don't think I'm wrong.
Oh my God, we get ticks too. No, acorns are little things. Acorns out west were real long things, like in California and here they're really short. Yeah, they're about the size of walnuts, but they're not walnuts. And there's nothing in them.
Well, they're definitely not walnuts or chestnuts because it's an oak tree.
Yeah. So we got oak trees all around here. And then the sticker bushes that my former wife planted, but the
They
trees
drop
are
these
all oak trees. We get-
Brown, hollow, pithy, kind of about the size of a golf ball.
about the size of a golf ball.
And it's kind of shiny and brown, and it's just like a shell that's like.
And pretty soon they just break apart and they're gone. Oh God, thorns. I'm so sick of thorns. Every time I mow the lawn, there's something catches me and just tears the shit out of me. It's like, man. I see. I don't know how to pronounce that. Buckeye. Oh, that was Ohio, the Buckeye State. I'm not even sure what a Buckeye is.
I think that isn't that chestnuts.
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
I just know in Ohio it was the Buckeye State, but mostly what I saw in Ohio was inside of an aircraft factory and inside airplanes.
Oh, it's not a yeah.
Oh, what is that?
They're nuts.
Yeah, but that's not what these are. You have walnut crop. See, out in California, we had walnuts, but you take them apart, you get all this. How do you get all that stuff off the outside of the walnut? They're a mess. The redwoods, Northern California redwoods are huge, and their pine cones are about the size of your thumb. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You see, California is geographically such a nice place. But, politicians pretty much ruined it. So I just can't live there anymore. Sadly, it is a nice place. And really, I like Arizona just as much. It's completely different than California, but it's still dry and warm. At least in the southern part. You go up in the northern part, it's like Rocky Mountain State. Get up by Flagstaff. Oh my God, I've been up there in the wintertime, 7,000 feet, Flagstaff, and then everything goes uphill from there. And it'd be snowing sideways at 100 miles an hour. It's terrible. Then you go to Yuma and you got to turn the air conditioning on. Or even Phoenix. By the time you come down, whatever it is, I-17, down to Phoenix, you go from freezing snow to blowing snow to turn the air conditioning on, same day. Pecan trees in Texas. Eat them right off the ground. Really? I lived in an apartment in California for a while, and there was like a little walkway that went along, and there was a fence. There's a house on the other side of the fence. The woman there had avocado tree that was huge, and it was way over this walkway. And avocados always dropping down. So I always had free avocados, and they were really good. You don't see that here. $3 a piece or something. I remember in Yuma, avocados you get 5 for $1. Oh man, has anyone heard of their pine trees pop seeds? No.
Do the pine cones go like react and
I
throw
know.
the seeds out?
I know there's
They can't
Pine
do-
pine nuts. Pine nuts are really good, but they're kind of expensive.
No, that's a different thing. Do they cast their seeds out like pop?
I don't know anything
I've
about
never
'em.
seen that. What kind of pine trees though? Because all different. There's a lot of different kinds of pine trees.
That's something I miss about like Yosemite area in California. You've
The
probably never
pines?
been there. Oh man, just the smell of it. Yeah, you walk
Yeah.
along and it's just beautiful. And the same thing that was in south of Yosemite. There's an area called Wawona. That's just a beautiful place.
I mean, the oak trees here are really beautiful.
Yeah, but oak trees. Now you're lucky to find avocado for $1 each. Oh, I don't know where you are. Where I am, they're about $3 each. It's
No,
terrible.
they're not. The
How much are they?
avocados we buy
$2.95. What are they? What's the cheapest avocados we find here?
avocados.
Oh, we get those bags with 4 of them for like
for $4.
$4.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are $1 each in the bags. But they're small, yeah. And I don't like the giant ones that come from.
Oh wait, we're talking about nuts and nut trees and stuff like that. This is where we get ours.
What's he saying about California? Yeah, I can't. Oh yeah, the avocados. Every avocado we buy comes from Mexico.
This is where we get the nuts that we eat around here.
Oh jeez.
Walmart.
Oh. It's gonna reach in there and you're like pouring them out. Yeah, Walmart. Why are you putting them back?
Because I don't eat none of those ones. We buy the mixed nuts. I eat the peanuts, and then he eats all the other stuff.
I
Because
shouldn't
he
be
likes the
doing this.
mixed nuts. But if I buy just,
You
Because
just
it works
pop
out.
and then a seed hits something metal 50 feet away.
bang, I can
No,
imagine.
I don't know about
Pong,
this.
Bang.
My Sierra pine out front tries to kill me every time I mow. Those cones shoot like bullets. It spits a lot of cones. See, I don't even know about that.
That's cool.
The avocados I don't like are those really huge ones from,
I'm allergic
Oh.
to almonds.
they come from Florida and probably Caribbean. And they're really wet. They don't have a lot of flavor, very juicy. I like the ones that come from Mexico. And Central California had a lot of. My sister that's what she did when she was in California, she was working on the avocado farms. And they graft all the avocados. They have good root stock, and then they have good plants that'll grow good avocados, and they graft them all. And she had a very high success rate with grafting, and so she always had work there. Wow, see, I didn't even know about this. What are those little round nuts? Is that a filbert?
Is it hazelnut?
No, hazelnuts are huge.
What's it say on the front of the thing? It probably says the varieties. Oh, it's little. I can't read little right now because I got my contacts in.
Peanuts, almonds, cashews, hazelnuts,
Might be hazelnuts.
pecans.
Pecans. It's not any of that. It's only hazelnuts is the only ones that surround.
Could be hazelnuts. Those are kind of good.
They're probably the smallest hazelnuts.
What's your favorite nut to eat? I don't know if you can eat all of them. My favorite is macadamia nuts, but they're expensive. Filbert, see, that's what I thought. I remember my mother telling me that. I don't know. See, something from like when I was 5 years old that comes to mind. But something I learned yesterday, can't remember it. Filberts. I remember that my mother telling me that.
When I was a kid, my dad knew where all the old nut groves were on the farms that were closed down because they didn't farm anymore because you
Oh.
could buy stuff so cheap from California. All the farms
Take this away from me.
near Pittsburgh kind of shut down and everything started getting
I'll start-
shipped from far away
I'll start coughing again.
because farming is expensive. It really is. And
Look up filberts.
okay, but all the old nut trees, he knew where their groves were, and they were all grown up and forgotten about. And we would go and we would get 5-gallon buckets of walnuts, black walnuts, and then my mom would make cookies. Oh, they were so good. And we were hungry kids because
I'm not going to say what they used to call those big black nuts.
okay, what was the thing?
Brazil
Filbert?
nuts, that's right, Brazil nuts. Water, because that's like something my grandparents would have said.
Filberts. American hazelnut. Why?
Where's the Oh, I knew. This is what the nuts are going to do to me. Tear my throat up. Oh, man. Yeah, I want to see what filberts are. I just want to see what the nuts look like. I don't care what the tree looks like. I had an Asian plum tree that had a female and a male tree grafted to the same trunk. Oh my God!
That sounds like it's against God. I don't think you should do that.
I shouldn't have eaten. Oh, hazelnuts! Those are the little round ones that are in here.
There you go.
And filberts are a little different. $192. Better be a lot of them.
That's like the remember the Pepsi Zero or Crystal Pepsi or whatever? It was like $250 they wanted.
My trees are all English walnut. Those black walnuts are too hard to shell. See, that's what I remember.
They are, and that's why they stopped. That's why they stopped worrying about those trees. They abandoned that grove because you can't. Black walnuts are too hard for commercial shelling.
Praline covered pecan taste.
They are
great.
good. The reward is there. Some good black walnut. The other thing, black walnuts are so messy because the husk has all that like black tannin in
That's
it.
that's the like the soft stuff that's around on the outside of the shell. Oh, I remember getting those things when I was a kid, and I was just a mess. And we thought we were going to get to the walnuts, and it's like one of those things I never wanted to mess with one again. Yeah, I understand about the Brazil nuts, and like I said, my grandparents used names like that, and they were born in the 1800s. Who is this Wayland's Iron here on YouTube? He's actually a grafter from Washington and builds a lot of very cool. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, you can plug his if he's in our. Waylon's been great tonight. He's been friendly and contributing in conversation. I have no problem with plugging somebody's channel. They're doing good things, and if they're being part of the community. So, if somebody has a link, throw it up.
Okay. The socially unacceptable name for those nuts, you can look it up. Maybe you'll find it. I'm not going to bring it up on this channel. It's that bad.
Yeah, don't.
It's that bad. Okay.
Okay. Moving along. Oh.
What? Oh, you're still eating? I can't eat those right now because I start coughing and sneezing.
Okay, well, don't. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Now I'm taking a cough drop. Well, my throat is just giving me trouble today, and then I put nuts down in there, and it's like, oh, whoops. Beer nuts. I didn't know it was a Pittsburgh thing. When I was in California, I worked in a shop where, I was in the 70s, early 70s, and we had a refrigerator and beer in there. So every day after 5, we could have a beer if we wanted. But on Fridays, the guy that owned the shop, he always called a board of directors meeting, and everybody at 5 o'clock he'd take a 55-gallon drum, put a creeper up on the 55-gallon drum. That was our table. Put a fender cover or a blanket or something up there, and he'd have cheese and crackers and pepperoni and meat and drinks and beer nuts, always. And he called that board of directors meeting, and we'd all talk about everything in the shop, everything that anybody could say anything. Nobody got offended by boss. You pissed off at something he did, it was okay. He wanted to hear it. And I think it was pretty constructive. Of course, then we're drinking, so we're loosened up a little bit. And it was always a good time. Man, when I first started working there, I was 17, and he called me his sweeper boy. That was my name. Sweeper boy? He was Norwegian. It wasn't sweeper. It was sweeper with a V. Sweeper boy? So, right away, like I'm 17 in high school, and he gives me a key to the shop. So then they'd all leave Friday evening. We'd be there probably till 6, a little after 6, at least an hour. And he'd have a big, like, one of the first days this happened. Yeah, I'm 17. I'm drinking beer in a shop. So he has a big wine bottle. And that wine bottle's empty. He takes it like this and just chucks it up in the air, and it flips over, it comes down, crash on the floor. And he goes, Sveverboy, clean up and lock it up. See you later. And everybody leaves. And then I have a broken bottle on the floor, key to the shop. And I clean the place all up and throw the broken glass away and lock the shop up, and I leave. That was the beginning of my working at a automotive repair shop. Of beer nuts, but damn, they get money for them. Oh, I don't know what they cost anymore. Man, the day I went to work for that guy, there was a guy working there who was 19, and he was a friend of mine. I was 17. So he's like an older guy. So he told this guy that I was looking for a job. And the boss kind of knew who I was because I hung around with one of his employees. So I come walking across the parking lot. I'm about halfway across the lot. He goes, "Hey, I hear you're looking for a job." He yells at me across the lot. And I stop and I'm kind of shy. And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I can't hear you. Speak up." I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for a job." And he goes, "Can you sweep?" Uh-huh. And he took a push broom and he threw it. And it went way over my head. He goes, then he yells at me. He goes, "You can't even catch. What makes you think you can sweep? Go get that broom." So that was my interview. I got the broom and he goes, "Start sweeping." I start sweeping. And then he's like, you don't know how to sweep. Let me have that oh no, he crushed up a beer can and threw it on the floor. And he goes, "Sweep that beer can." So I start moving the beer can. He goes, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing. Let me see that broom." He goes, "It's in the footwork." He goes, "It's like dancing." And he starts showing me how to sweep. Then he shows me where he wants me to sweep up the shop. There's an alignment rack in there. He goes, "These are the rack tools. These tools go on the rack. I want you to wipe them off with solvent every day. Put them here. This hammer goes here. This goes here. This goes here. All the other tools go in the toolboxes." Open up a toolbox. Looks at me, goes, "What's bigger, 9/16 or 5/8?" You know, I'm a dumb kid. I'm standing there like, He goes, "You got to know this stuff. Memorize these wrenches." He goes, "Put them in here in order." So he shows me where everything goes. So he goes, "When you get here, 3 o'clock, you have to be to work at 3 o'clock. Okay?" He goes, "You work from 3 to 5. He goes, "You make this place clean in those 2 hours." "Yes, sir." So that's what I started with. And then he started going like, he shows me how to set up a car for a wheel alignment, like how to check everything. Jack it up, check the ball joints, check how to check ball joints properly. And he taught me all this stuff. So we get a car in for a wheel alignment. I did the setup for the wheel alignment. Then he'd come in and do the wheel alignment. And I'd taken auto shop in school, so I know a little bit. Everything was drum brakes, and I knew about brakes. So I started doing drum brakes. And then back then we'd reline the shoes. We'd strip the lining off anything that was bonded. If it was riveted linings, we'd pop the rivets out. And then we drilled new. We had bulk lining, and we'd cut the lining and drill it and rivet it on, and then arc the shoes to the. You have to measure the drum. Arc the shoes so it fits the drum with this big drum sander, this thing you set the proper arc so it fits the drum. And there, asbestos, just a room full of asbestos dust. We didn't know any better. There was nothing about asbestos yet. So, so I worked in a room full of powdered asbestos sometimes. But, he, sounds like he was testing. He pushed me around a lot. And then, years later, I hired a high school kid when I had my radiator shop, and I called him up. I go, "Hey, Matt." "Yeah, Matt, I named my kid after him." I said, "Hey, Matt, I want to send this new guy I hired. I want to send him down to you for a couple of weeks for basic training." And he goes, "Send him down." I sent him down there. The kid's like, "Well, you met Steve years later. He was here." Steve's 65 years old now. Steve was a high school kid. I sent Steve down there and worked for Matt for 2 weeks. He came back a different guy. Matt really pushed him around. Yeah, he wasn't Swede. He's Norwegian. Almost, you call him a Swede, you get pissed off. I'm not a Swede. I'm not a Swede. But there were people who thought he was a Swede. Oh, God.
Oh, Damien makes tractor trailer brakes.
Ah.
So he's
Yeah,
starting
but
at the bottom.
I bet they're not using asbestos.
Probably not.
Bravo!
Probably
Man from down
something
under.
worse. 10 years from now, they'll be like, "Oh, we shouldn't have used that."
It must be noon down there where you are. Noon down under, because that's...
Welcome to stream, Mr. Tavo.
Tob always comes in on his lunch break. Yeah, the old
Tavo
one.
comes to you from down under.
Oh, man. You know, working for Matt changed me from a kid that was so afraid of everything to somebody that was, after going through Matt's basic training course, which was like a year of him throwing brooms and yelling at me, and he was funny because he'd say stuff and all the mechanics would laugh because he'd be giving me trouble, and I had to put up with that. But that's okay, you know. It was really good for me having that guy as a boss. Yeah, Kylie, you gonna be at the No Name Nationals? Tavo, you gonna be at the No Name Nationals? Ah, probably not. Yeah, 12:15. I looked here and it was 9:45. I figured it was 15 after 12 there because you're like a half hour off. I guess I'm going to reline a little clutch for me. See, now that's something. That's something that would be interesting. There's a place in Nashville that does clutches.
Is there? I would suspect that that's pretty expensive to have done.
Well, you know, Tony had a clutch. It was a Hemi for a Hemi.
Yeah.
And it tore apart right away. And he went to that place and they did him a clutch that worked really well. Not this year. Well, you know, you're not expected to bring a car. You could just come up and... The first year I went, the only reason I had a car is because that's how I got there. But I didn't race. I just went there and I met Kim and just hung out. Last year I just hung out.
Well,
And-
yeah, but you were like a car guy known in the community before that, though. You were
Barely. I mean, I knew...
doing lives and hanging
I was
out with people.
doing lives with
People
Tony,
knew
you're
who
right.
you were on the first.
The first year, a lot of people knew who I was.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who anybody was.
Well,
And,
you had been working. You were not keeping up.
oh,
with stuff.
I did lives with Tony for a year and a half, and then I went back to work for a couple of years. And so I was, yeah, I mean, some people still knew me, but I didn't know them. I mean, I know screen names, but, and then with Tony, I'm sitting there with Tony, Kathy does the whole thing with a phone. So all I hear are names sometimes when she calls them out, but she's just reading the chat. So I really don't know who anybody is. So like an air conditioning clutch. Oh,
He says he needs
Oh.
a crutch reline for a gas-powered airless paint sprayer. I don't know. I've never dealt with trying to get anything like that repaired. It's usually like disposable stuff. It either works or it doesn't. And when the air conditioning has gone out in vehicles I've owned my whole life, if the air conditioning goes out, no more air.
You've
It was never getting fixed.
you worked around construction stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever use an airless spray? You know where they pump the paint
Yeah.
through the... Okay.
I
yeah.
never used one.
I never
saw
have. I
people
never
working
have.
with them.
I never have. I've done everything I've ever done is has air coming through it.
I would instantly know who they were by the car. Yeah, that's a really fun part of if you're following all these car people and you know the car and you know the people and the personality. It's really neat to get to meet them and maybe talk to them for a few minutes.
You know who I met there?
It's neat.
I knew him just from online stuff.
Who's that?
Mopar Al
Yeah.
shook his hand first time. No Name Nationals first year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got to see
it's
Mo
like
Corral a couple times
He
since then.
he knew who I was. I knew who he was, but we never met. But we met at No Name Nationals, and of course now, yeah, we've been to his house and yeah, he's a great guy. And then what's his name? Daddy's Money Garage. Austin. Same thing there.
Yeah, it was great talking to those guys.
I didn't know Austin.
They were really making a lot of content at that time, and now they're doing
You know-
different things in life.
No,
They
I'd
have a
never.
car that they're trying to get together
I'd
this
never
year.
met Austin in person, but I met
Right.
him at first year No Name Nationals, and yeah, there were like a few people. And I'd been following you and your channel, and I was like trying to be a stalker without being a stalker. I got to meet this girl. I met you there.
You were a stalker.
Oh, stalker. She's resting in her van. I walked on and said, "Hi, can I bother you?" Sure. So we started talking, hung around together for 3 days. It was fun. I took her to dinner that night. Took her to what's the
Did we go
name?
to the buffet?
No, we went to Lambert's.
Oh, that's right. We went to Lambert's that day.
That's right. That was the day I met you.
I did not know that we were still using asbestos from India for brakes. That is a
Wait a
little
minute.
bit,
Where is this? Where is this?
about halfway up. Colleen saying.
They get their lines
I did
from
not
India,
realize
the
this.
asbestos capital. No, it's not banned in the U.S. the way people think. Oh, I thought it was pretty much banned. Oh man, yeah, yeah.
And Tim, the A833, I've been like sort of wanting one for quite some time, and it just, it's a little pricey, especially when I'm trying to work on multiple vehicles.
What is that? A 4-speed?
It's a 4-speed, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Mopar 4-speed. I'm glad that you got it together, and a 360 is a little more power. I'm that'll be neat to see. I'm looking forward to that. A whole Valiant with an old felt
Oldfield airless
Airless
sprayer was almost as good as some people's effort with proper equipment. See, I like stuff like that. Misuse something, but it looks like it'll probably work, and you make it work. Well, look at, I don't know how many of you seen my videos with painting a Valiant. Uh, you know, car paint's expensive. I use a water-based outdoor house paint, mix it with water, and make it about the consistency of lacquer, and I put coat after coat on it. It comes out really well. I mean, it matches the original paint, 50-year-old paint, and it looks about the same. And it's tough as hell. Try to sand that off, And it's meant to be on the outside of a house for 20 years. It's what do we got in that paint job? $19.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Asbestos got a bad rap. Yeah, I don't know. After all the asbestos I was exposed to, I try to stay away from it because
I mean, it's like a lot of things. There's a lot of different kinds of asbestos. The stuff that was used to wrap plumbing, I think, was some of the most dangerous stuff. And depending on how it was made, manufacturing process and stuff like that, I think some of it was incredibly dangerous. And then some of the other stuff was maybe, I don't know though. I really am not an expert in it. I know that it's a one word, but it encompasses like a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of different kinds of products, asbestos. So, because like I know floor tile and stuff like that, you're not supposed to mess with, and improper handling will kill you.
okay, let's get back to Pontiacs away from the hazelnuts.
All right, let's do it.
I like the way your car came out using that water-based paint. See, Tavo, you saw that. Okay, it's amazing. It just, I did the hood, I did the deck lid, and eventually I'm going to do the whole car. Okay, I had to put this up because it's been kind of a Pontiac night. It's a really unusual Pontiac. You see what they did.
It's a truck.
Yeah, it is bad stuff. I used to take drum brakes, pull the drum off, and I just hose it down with water into a pan, and all that dust would just be in the water. And I wouldn't be, because I see people come over to the drum brakes, they take an air hose and blow all the dust out of there, and cough and gag. It's like you know what you're breathing.
Oh yeah, that is a terribly impractical tailgate setup.
Oh yeah, that's that. It's a
Cute truck though.
Pontiac El Camino. Yeah, it's a 59 or a 60. I think it's a 60 El Camino, but they put all Pontiac stuff.
Pontamino?
They put all Pontiac stuff on it, so every time. See, you're a young guy and you're working with asbestos. See, I remember like schools, they'd have like clear the school out, and they'd have somebody like 3 layers in a wall somewhere, some asbestos that's insulate or something.
Oh yeah, it was gonna jump out of the walls and
Yeah,
attack your children.
how's it gonna get through the wall? You know, it's like,
We got to tear this whole building down
but
and bury it.
they get all that stuff out of there.
Bury it in a mile of concrete. It's radioactive.
Sometimes I wondered if they did more damage tearing it apart, but I don't know. Warren's, what is that?
Warren Zevon is a
I don't know what that is.
musical artist, I believe.
Half of my house is made of asbestos. Am I scared? No, I just don't. Yeah, don't disturb it. Yeah, and we were taught. I don't know if you were in here yet or not, Tava, but I worked in a place where we relined the brake shoes and then arced them. We actually under arced them about 20 thousandths to 30 thousandths under the radius of the drum, and that way, because there's a couple of things happen with drum brakes, and one of the things is when the shoes go out like this, it takes energy to distort that drum, so the drum is not round while you're applying the brakes, and it takes a lot of energy with that drum spinning to always holding it out around, and so you want that to happen, and so you under arc the shoes by, like I say, 20 to 30 thousandths, and you go too far, and then you start reducing its braking ability. You get them the same, and then they howl, they squeak like hell. But if you under arc them a little bit, they'll work real well. I saw something else up here. House paint works great for fabric covered airplanes. That was the first place I ever saw it used. It was at an air show, and it looked so good. Anyway, enough of that. So we'd under arc the shoes, but look across the room and you couldn't even see across the room for all the asbestos dust. Yeah, it won't burn down. Yeah, no kidding.
That's right. You can hardly get it to
Gauge
burn.
needles used to be painted with uranium. Oh yeah. Yeah, but they had women doing that in World War II to paint the needles on the airplane gauges. And you know how they did that? They'd lick the brush to keep it sharp, and then they dip it in that paint, and then they lick the brush again. And a lot of those people really got overexposed to the, was it uranium? No, it was,
I don't know which radioactive thing is.
it's
They
the
also
stuff
had
that
that
glows.
glass.
It's the stuff that glows. It's radium. I think it was radium.
That'd be bad, yeah.
Uh,
They also had that green glass.
yeah, radium.
that
She knew what it is.
glows. That's pretty cool stuff. You can collect it.
You know, there was a kid who ended up growing up, went in the Navy, was a Navy nuke for a while, and he ended up dying from a lot of overexposure. But when he was a kid, he built an atomic pile. You read about him sometime, the radioactive Boy Scout. You want to read a story. Read about that kid, and you'll find articles all over the place. What did I just say? Radioactive Boy Scout. And he messed with radium a lot. And yeah, they had glow in the dark tongues, but he was gathering up radium, and he'd go into antique stores and buy old clocks and stuff. Yeah, you know about him, a Boy Scout. Yeah, he ended up being a Navy nuke, and then he died later because he kept messing with this stuff. He couldn't help himself. He just like had some fascination with it. Yeah, he wasn't afraid.
Yeah, maybe he should have been a little bit.
So,
Maybe that was not the right way to say that, but
so
caution.
he
Use
was
caution.
he was
Jeez.
he was going around to antique stores and scraping the stuff off the dials and stuff of old clocks. But he bought one old clock, and he opened it up, and there was a bottle of the paint they'd left in there, and that was like a big deal from him because all of a sudden he had a huge supply of that paint, and he needed it. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah, young kid. And he's like, what do you do with a 14-year-old that builds an atomic pile in his yard? By then he's 16. He's got some of it. Well, he came around the corner one day and he had a Geiger counter with him, of course, and way up the street where his parents live. He's starting to get pretty good readings from, like a block away. And it was coming from the shed in their backyard. And he decided to start dividing it up because you get too much and you don't want the thing to go critical. So he had, which means it starts a reaction, like a nuclear power plant or a bomb or something. So he started separating up into smaller amounts, and he had a toolbox in his trunk. And he got stopped by the police for something, and they found that toolbox, and the police were going to open it, and he didn't want them to open it, and he said enough that they figured out that he was probably telling the truth, and they had the NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, people come and deal with it. And then they went to his house, and like the next day they're out there with these big casks and everybody dressed up in their white suits and gloves, and they're taking this stuff out of the backyard of this house. How do you feel when your neighbors got an atomic pile in their shed? Oh my God. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, Stray Bullet, I think you know about this guy. The radioactive Boy Scout. Read about him. Interesting character. Okay. What about the cars? Yeah, haha.
Oh, we make cars. Where's my thing?
Cars? What
We
cars?
do car stuff. That's what we're here for. We're a car channel, remember? Cars.
Yeah, you did that.
I got this. They're hard to get now. You can't get order the things. You have to plan ahead. So now that I have the rear brake line, the rear end is bolted in. I can hook up the brakes. I already loosened the bleeders, so we know the bleeders work. So I can install it. Once I'm back out of the garage, I can install this. I'll have, hopefully this joint comes apart because we just clamped the old one off and cut it because it was bad. So I got to get this apart and then install this and then bleed out the rear brakes. And if the rear brakes work, we don't have emergency brakes yet, but I have drums and we have wheels. We can put the car back on the ground. We already have the drive shaft in. Oh, I got to tighten the bolts for the drive shaft. But the Dart is coming really close. I got the hoses figured out.
I asked Kim, she's under the car, and I said, did you get the drive shaft tight? Because she got busy with the U-bolts. And she goes, oh, I left a wrench on there, so I won't forget it. Yeah, good. Don't drive off with the wrench on the drive shaft.
Yeah, the drive shaft still needs tightening.
Yeah, Rock Auto. We buy stuff from Rock Auto.
Rock Auto's not fast enough. I need it now.
Two things about Rock
Want a
Auto.
deadline.
Two things about Rock Auto. Got to pay shipping. Sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes it's not. And then, it's a little slower. I can't believe how quickly we get stuff from Amazon.
Oh, 2 days.
Oh, 2 days. The next day.
Sometimes next day, yeah. Parking brake, not an emergency brake. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends on. Well,
What's the
if you
difference?
don't have any brakes, it becomes an emergency
Emergency
brake.
brake.
I learned to drive way back. Well, no, I learned to drive about the same time. They came out with tandem master cylinders. So most of the cars I drove had single systems. So your backup brake was the parking brake. And some of them, like the old Chrysler products, was a drum on the back of the transmission. I mean, you applied that thing hard enough, you could break a U-joint. Then you didn't have any brakes. But
Depends if it locks. I don't know.
well, like if you use, like my Cougar, I lost brakes in the Cougar. It had tandem master cylinder, but I still wanted to have some additional braking from the rear. It had a pedal you push down, then a thing you pulled, and chunk, the pedal would come up.
Yeah.
So it locks, but you'd hold that release and use your foot, so it doesn't ratchet down and stop. And then a lot of, like my 56 Fords, all those old cars, they had a handle you pulled out and it'd stay. Or if you turned it, it released. So the first thing you do is turn it and then pull it, and you could modulate the brake. Um, oh, geez. Let's Saber read what he just wrote.
The stuff that this country did.
Well, it wasn't just a kind of, this country. We've cleaned up our mess over the years when we started realizing this stuff. But there's countries today they still do this stuff, and it looks like India is one of them. What they just have in India? What just happened in India? Like this week, it's still going on. Some people are selling booze with methanol in it. There's all these people dying, and because they sold booze with methanol. Uh, that single brake on the drive shaft was silly. Jack up one rear wheel and the other. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but in this country, we cleaned up our messes. Eventually, we cleaned up our messes. You go to Russia, it's still like that. You go to India, it's still like that. Japan cleaned up their messes. Look at China. Oh my God. This guy's, there's two guys that lived in China for 11 or 12 or 13 years, married Chinese women, moved back here, they get kids. But they were YouTubers in China, and they finally had to leave because Chinese are going to come after them. But they talk about going to restaurants, and you got to be. They had to know the people that had the restaurants because a lot of them cook with gutter oil. What's gutter oil? Well, all the oil gets dumped in the gutter, and then restaurants that don't have any money go out there and they scoop the oil out of the gutter.
Oh gosh, don't even talk about
They
it.
scoop the oil out of the gutter and they
gross.
cook their food in it, and it doesn't happen here. It happens in a lot of countries, stuff like that. So I don't give this country a real hard time because we have cleaned up our mess. And when we find a mess, it's a big deal, and we do clean it up. Kim left, and all of a sudden I'm out of conversation. I think Kim had to take a break, or she got upset because I was talking about gutter oil.
No, I had to pee.
Oh, she's in the, what do they call it, ladies' room. Colleen, I'm still trying to get used to your new screen name. Man, that's hard. Kim, what do I talk about? Maybe it's time to end this pretty soon.
Ask him what to make a short
Yeah,
about.
yeah, the powder room. A gunpowder room. No, not gunpowder. The other kind of powder. I want to start collecting used cooking oil to run my diesel. Oh, what's the guy's name that does all the trucks and he plays a guitar and what's his name? Not on YouTube. He might be on YouTube, but he was one of the very first. Stacy David, the guy with two last names. Or is it two first names? Two first names. Stacy David. He a few years ago, and he may have it on YouTube now. He did a whole thing about making cooking oil into a good diesel fuel. And I think you can run it straight, but he shows how to make it a nice clean oil.
Well, I gotta make an air filter
I'm
for the car. For that
getting
one-barrel
quite a
carburetor.
collection of used motor oil around here. I worked in a shop for a while. What'd you do? Oh, you getting cold? I worked in a shop for a while, and they had a heater. It was up above, and a big tank down below with a line that went up to it, and that heater heated that shop real well, and it was all crankcase drainings.
Oh yeah, well we'll take some of
used
our
motor oil.
firewood and we'll dunk it in some
Oh.
motor oil. Man, it gets hot. It burns good.
That's how we get a fire started now when it's cold on the. Put some kindling in there, and then I take a couple of pieces of bigger kindling, Just soak it in motor oil that we've drained. Put it in there. Man, does it get rolling. I remember watching Stacy decades ago on PBS, long before he moved to Tennessee. Top Gear did the cooking oil thing in an old diesel Volvo. And Stacy David, of course, he was doing it in trucks, probably Chevy pickups. Next door neighbor of mine did diesel commercials. They often smelled like fries. And every once in a while I get behind a truck and I can say, that smells like Mexican food coming out the tailpipe. So that actually bothered me. Maybe it was from shrimp or something. Yeah, if they're cooking fish in it, maybe it doesn't smell so good. The stuff that comes from a Mexican restaurant, the exhaust always smells good.
Oh, diesel conversions, yeah.
What did she say? Oh, diesel commercials, diesel conversions, yeah.
I don't know. I think diesel engines are cool, and I think that being able to use alternative fuels is cool. But the diesel, like, conglomerate of people, they really like their diesels, and the prices are like sky high for anything that's diesel powered. So it's just out of just work on gasoline stuff.
Straight. Well, where do you live in California? I thought you were somewhere else. You're in California? This old shop was in Boise. Built train engines there now. I didn't know that. What county you live in?
I mean, biodiesel and reused diesel, if it's done properly, it's just as good as regular diesel.
Fish and chip shop. Man, do they do that? And do they do that in Australia? Fish and chips like they do in England? Best fish and chips I ever had. In remote Northern California. That's where my sister is. Remote Northern California. Lake. I don't know where that is. Lake. She's up there. She was in, what's the name of the place? Can't think of it. Right up on the Oregon border. Now she's moved like a little different place. Out in the mountains in very Northern California. I can't think of the name of it. Where she was. Terrible about names.
Did anybody think of a short for us to do? Is anybody else doing shorts for their channels? Anybody? I have seen some of y'all have some shorts out there. Nobody knows where it is. That's good. It's invisible.
I'm trying to find what I'm trying to find.
Nobody knows is a good thing sometimes.
Oh, I'm going to look on a map, but I already thought of it.
Oh.
She lived in Wairika. In Wairika, I read about where the name came from. And who wrote Tom Sawyer? What was his name? Here I am. Can't pull the names up anymore. Who's the guy that wrote Tom Sawyer? Mark Twain. Mark Twain was used to live in Wairika, and the story he tells is that the name Wairika came. There was a sign up there. They were having a bake sale, and they had a big paper sign that said bakery. Except the wind came out and ripped the sign, and it ripped the B off the paper, and it flipped around. So where it used to say bakery, you could see the sun shining through the sign, so now it said Wairika. So, yeah, Samuel Clemens. So that's where the name of the town came from. A sign that said bakery that ripped and spun around in the wind. I was like,
Tim, did you see my old burnout short? Is that what that was? Me on the monkey bike? I gotta pull my monkey bike out and shake the cobwebs out of it before too long.
that was the first year No Name Nationals.
Yeah.
She won the burnout contest.
There wasn't a lot of burnout monkey bikes.
There were like three of them or four of them. Yeah, well, you beat them all.
I don't think they do that anymore.
I bet if you went up there with
That
a
was
monkey bike, they'd
fun.
let you
Boy,
do it.
was I nervous. I was so nervous. That was my first time there. I'd never done a burnout with that little monkey bike. I knew it would kind of do it, but I was
You
just,
knew it. You made it to do it.
man.
You set that thing up. Do we tell everybody what you did, or is it? It's not a trade secret. She took the engine and welded new mounts. The engine far forward as she could, as far as up as she could, which put the weight way far forward, and ran big long chain. So then, when she goes out there to do a burnout, she just has to lean way
Well,
far
the
forward.
other thing that I
all
did,
the weight's up forward, so the tire just goes.
I bought another wheel from the same kind of mini bike.
Oh, that's
that
right.
had the disc brake, and I put a disc brake on the front, so I had another brake, because those from the factory, they only have one brake on the back, so I put a brake on the front so I could
So,
chock the brake and lift the bike forward a little bit.
so that engine's way far forward enough, and there's
And
a
it's only
brake
like
on the front.
3 horsepower, so it's like
Yeah, you destroyed that tire that night.
yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh man, you know where that monkey bike is?
It's in the shed.
Oh, I thought it was in this bedroom.
No, it's in the stinky shed.
Oh,
It's in the shed that smells like. Oh, maybe it is in the bedroom. I think it's in the shed. It's in the shed that smells like a dead skunk.
ew.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in this bedroom out here, because there used to be a monkey bike in the bedroom.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, it was a very memorable thing to go and do. And then I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so far from home, and I was like tearing up the tires on my van too.
What was the number on that monkey bike? I know
99.
99.
Yeah,
I remember that.
because I'm Agent 99.
And then, should we talk about the troll?
No.
Some troll was giving her a bunch of shit, and so
Squirrel 'em.
she went out and drove it around and showed that it actually runs.
I broke that motorcycle on the way to No Name Nationals. What did I do?
I don't know. It was on your channel. You broke it and then you fixed it.
I took
You
the
fixed it on the
governor
way.
thing out of it, and the freaking pin dropped in and jammed in the crankshaft. I had to split the housing on that motor, on the back in the dirt, and on the side of the road, and take that dropped shaft out, put it all back together, and I'm lucky I didn't throw a rod or nothing like that from jamming that pin in the crankshaft, and then I was able to use it. And before that, I was trying to make a supercharger, and that was a horrible failure. But I still did a burnout.
So Kim, it's 10:15. So I have an hour and 45 minutes to make it short and get it put up before I'm out of time. So what are we going to do? Only until next year.
Oh, Barrows, I had not heard about that. I am very glad to hear that the governor stepped in and corrected that thing with the farmers, because putting small farmers out of business is just
That's what he's talking about.
horrific. Horrific. And that's the power of a platform like YouTube or just social media in general, is when stuff like injustices and like horrible, foolish mistakes are being made by our government or by, I don't know, whoever made
Take
that
care,
rule.
Tavo. In 4 hours, you'll be off work, I think.
Water and power. They cannot make stupid choices like taking away small farmers' water. What? You can't do that. So I'm glad that they fixed it. That's excellent news, and hopefully that governor can ride that success.
I don't know who the governor is there.
I don't know. I don't care, but I know that he's smart
Yeah.
enough not to let something stupid like that
Not
go
like,
on.
not like our governor.
I don't know our governor. I hope he doesn't do anything dumb like put small farmers out of business
No,
by
no,
turning off their
He
water.
signed the bill that makes chemtrails illegal.
Oh man, is that dumb?
That's dumb. It's like, first of all,
We need those chemtrails.
there are no chemtrails. And the second thing is, what are you going to do? Chase the airplanes? Get like little airplane cops? Write them tickets? Oh my God. How could that even end up on the books? Much less. He's Little. That's actually, oh, okay. Governor Little. Okay, so now I've got to pay attention to that a little bit.
I'm glad something's getting fixed because that's terrifying when you start seeing big government making choices like that affect people in those ways. Like, wow. It's
Okay,
like
Kim.
dystopian. It's hard to believe it's happening. Do we have to say goodbye?
I'm getting nervous about getting this.
We do need to get our short out
I
by
gotta get this.
midnight.
I gotta get that short up.
Do you know what we're going to do yet?
No, I'm clueless.
All right, everyone. It's going to be a complete and total surprise, but
We are
just
gonna.
luck.
We might just grab a clip off this. What do we
We
have
didn't
on
say
here?
anything good.
Well, somebody, I'm sure.
Was
did.
there anything memorable that you think was worthy of being made into a...
Oh, the Snake River. You know, when I became aware of the Snake River is when Evel Knievel attempted to jump it. Man, that was 1974. Get your shorts on. Yeah, get my shorts on. I'm running around in no shorts.
Eat my shorts. All right, so we're going to get going. Thanks, everybody, for all the short suggestions that you've all offered up so generously there.
I was there at Evel Knievel's.
Oh, that's cool.
You know,
That's super cool.
yeah.
All right, we're going to go. We're going to make a short. I don't know what it's going to be because we haven't figured that out, but
Elvis almost made the jump.
I heard Fonzie made that jump.
Fonzie. Yeah.
All right, everyone. As always, it's a blast hanging out with everybody and making friends and learning more about each other, talking about the news of the day and old times and getting old and all the things that we talk about that have nothing to do with cars but have everything to do with cars. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you soon. We'll be making videos. We got more coming about the Dart and stuff like that. Plus our daily. We got another week and a half of our daily stuff, and I got to get up in the morning and go get injections in
that's
my
right.
spine. So wish me luck
Oh, we
doing
gotta
that.
do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a lot on our plate. So thanks for being here. We will see you next week.
Take care. Good night.